Hey!
What's up, everybody?
Hey! This is your good buddy Nate with the good old podcast going on here. I'm here with my good buddies Roger.
What's up, everybody? I'm Roger. Y'all
and the man of the hour, Captain Mike.
I'm clearly not the man of the whole hour. I'm the man of the first 5-10 minutes, maybe.
Well, we try to keep you within the hour.
You pilot the ship. That's all I ask you to do.
My name is Mike Woods, and I pilot the ship.
Good old Mike, the man who's more than willing to let us have a podcast here.
And he's an alcoholic. I love his intro.
Oh, yeah. What is everybody drinking?
So, yes, it is the beginning of the podcast, and our new thing that we started up here with the last podcast would be the what we're drinking here. So, Mike, what are you drinking here?
Oh, God. You're starting with me. Blood Orange Imperial Salty Lady with tahini in it.
Yeah, how's that working out for you?
Not well. It was better before the tahini, which tells you how bad it was before.
Oh, man.
Usually tahini makes it better.
I think depending on the beer, I guess basic beers.
It went to a bitter taste for some reason. It eliminated the salty.
Tahini went bitter. I wonder why.
I don't know.
Kind of makes me wonder.
I'm sad.
But it is a Martin House beer.
Yes, it is a Martin House beer, and it is typically pretty decent. Come drink all the rest of them. There's only a few left in stock.
All of 12.
All 12
Roger, how about you, Mr. I let all my beers get opened?
Well, look, the guy in the front's a very nice guy. I love him to death, but I kind of didn't want him to open the last beer I had got, so I just went ahead and just ran with it. I changed up a bit. I got Modelo, pretty basic.
Yeah.
And in my glass, I have.
Especial.
It really is especial.
In your Martin House glass.
It is.
Oh, actually, I need you to do the Spanish version of the podcast.
I hate when people. It just makes me.
Anyways, continue on. What's in the Martin House cup?
Well, it's just simple, basic Dos Equis.
Dos Equis.
And of course, my basic Yingling. That's a good go-to beer.
So you got a Dos Equis, a Modelo, and Jingling.
Yeah, I'm pretty important.
Jangalang.
What do you got going on?
Oh, I am running what I have pretty much become in my later life, which is the Jaded Optimist.
Oh, yes.
Another one of the wonderful beers from Martin House.
No,
it's not.
It's not Martin House?
That's a Hellas Lager. That was a new distributor I signed. That's Siren Rock Brewing Company.
Ooh.
So yeah, check that out, people. We got a new person in on the beer drinking here for the podcast, and it is pretty good. I'm enjoying the Jaded Optimist. So
yeah, that's a Hellas Lager. Also known as a crispy boy, apparently.
A crispy boy.
Crispy boy.
Usually I get called the chunky boy, so sure, why not?
You're not very crispy though, Nate.
I am very chunky.
You're more
chunky
soft.
Chunky is the funnest word.
Oh, I tell you. Well, everybody, if you didn't know, and I did say it last podcast, that this podcast is a special one. It is going to be a themed one. We are doing action movies, no matter what time it is, be it the 80s, 90s, or the current odds to the 10s and 20s.
The 70s, huh?
You can go really far back. I believe the very first action movie was coined back in 1904.
Damn.
Really?
Yeah, we're going all the way back. That's going to be for
like
another
a silent
podcast.
Film.
I'm about to say, I was like, damn, you got the trivia on that one, don't you?
Valentino.
I wasn't busy at work today. I was sitting on Wikipedia all day. Let me tell you about it.
Oh, there it is.
But anyway, so as per usual, let's get this whole theme bit going on that there. So, Mike, shall I or you go kick off?
You go first.
You know, let me go ahead and kick off the first one on that there.
It's your podcast, bro. I'm only living in it.
Hey, you allowed us on the ship to do the filming, so we're good as gold on that.
Hey, man, you're the captain of this ship, so we follow you.
Good old captain of Starship. So
I'm just honored to be here. Thank you, boys.
Well, most definitely. Let's go ahead and get into the easy, basic option
Come
on that there.
Come on.
My list kept going. It is the favorite action movie.
Favorite? We're starting with our favorites?
So
that's a tough one.
Me and my list kept going, so I'm going to try to cut it down a bit because my list.
Let's do this. If we're doing favorites, are we doing a top what?
So you know what? Because I have like 12 on here.
Top 12.
Let's do
top 12.
I got to sit there. I have to sit for the library.
Mavis. Let's just do top 3.
Do you have a favorite? I mean, do you have a favorite?
Like all-time
you mean when I think action
but
movie?
don't say it out loud. But I'm just saying if you have.
I do actually. Yes.
Let's save that one for last.
Fair enough.
If you can, if possible, and let's just go around the horn, and then you'll tell one, and then I'll tell one, and you tell one.
Right. All right. So kind of starting from the bottom, moving upwards.
It's a action movie circle jerk. Go!
Okay, so when it comes right down to it there,
not your favorite.
Not my favorite, okay. But one of the greats that I still enjoy to this day. I watch it every Christmas, and I have make sure to watch it every Christmas.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
The first Die Hard.
Yes. That is
Bruce Willis, Die Hard. That was a movie that got him back into acting because he had a couple of bad movies, and this movie kind of helped get him back on track. We got good old Bruce Willis
McClane.
there. So John McClane, New York cop, goes to visit his wife. who no longer is using his name. He finds her under the computer system.
Holly Gennaro.
Holly Gennaro.
That's
And
right,
he gets
Gennaro.
taken over by the man who is no longer with us, unfortunately. But the great villain himself, Hans Gruber, played by Alan Rickman.
Yep. Yes.
Great
It's
movie.
genius.
Great Christmas movie. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody argues. Christmas movie.
We literally watched it this Christmas. Me and my wife did.
Exactly.
But didn't Bruce Willis say it wasn't a Christmas movie?
It
I don't
doesn't
care
matter.
what Bruce Willis says.
He's old and senile now. He doesn't
He's
really
old and
remember.
senile.
He probably doesn't remember making
He
it.
is no longer the elder statesman. He's old and senile. Just kidding, Bruce. I love you. Hopefully, we get to make a movie together one day.
That's right.
One of these
Another
days.
one? Another one?
Hopefully, yeah. We'll see how it goes.
Another one?
Again?
Well, the last one was what was the last Die Hard movie's name? I can't
Oh, it was
remember.
probably
It wasn't Live Free or Die Hard, was it?
No, it wasn't Live Free or Die Hard.
Die Hard or Again
No, it was,
for freedom.
A Good Day to Die Hard.
That's
A
what
Good
it
Day to
was.
Die Hard.
With Jai Courtney played his son.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
let me
I
go
didn't
ahead.
know
Let's
that.
get this moving on to the right. Roger, what you
Whoa, hey, caught him by guard. So one
Okay.
of, you've knocked off one that literally was the first one I wrote, but maybe not the best. But it might be my best. I don't know.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
So I think for me, one of my other favorite action movies, it's gonna be a classic. You'll know this one. Dad, one of his personal favorites. Grew up watching at Blockbuster. You know, we were
Sounds
those
like
kids.
what your dad's name is.
Yeah, and so it was for me one of
Shaft.
my.
Oh, that's his porn name. My bad. Go ahead.
Quiet, Mike. That's enough out of you. But I think one of my personal favorite movies, action movies as goes, is I'll honestly have to say True Lies.
Ooh, that is a good one. And you got one of the titans of action, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Because like,
And Bill Paxton as well.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah, he's in that.
He plays
He's
the,
in a lot.
He plays the skeezy car dealership.
he does. Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect for that role.
Because I just love that movie. Because my
Texas, by the way. Bill Paxton is a Texan.
he is
He is.
what was.
And he likes
But still,
He,
he's
to
probably
me, he'll
buried
always
here.
right.
yeah,
But yeah,
definitely Grill. True Lies is
I
a
love that. That's a good one.
great movie on. And then you know it actually adds on to something we're going to talk about later on that it's an action comedy because
It is, yeah.
it's entertaining. And Tom Arnold just got out of his divorce with Roseanne, so he was making a couple of Roseanne jokes in it.
He was,
Everybody was
yeah.
talking about the bitch took everything, including the ice trays.
Yeah.
Supposedly that happened. So
Oh wow!
Kinda
That's
going
cool.
in
I
on
didn't know
that.
that. That's a good fun fact. Thank
Well,
you.
Yeah, there you
Like
go.
the
Random
improv.
fun fact.
Fun
on
facts.
there.
little improv there.
He did not do any work today. I love it.
Right.
Like I said, we were slow. It was Wednesday. I
Come
did this
on.
instead of work. So, anyways,
But man,
continue on. Roger.
it was actually one of my personal favorites growing up because we used to go to Blockbuster, and
Yes.
for a good while, my dad had the biggest crush on Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, this cracked the
Beautiful
jokes,
woman.
very beautiful,
Yeah.
especially in that movie. Woo! Her little
pretty.
little tease, a little dance she did. I'm like,
Another random fun fact. I'm full of them because you'll see. This is my podcast.
Yeah.
Y'all had the horror podcast. This is my
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
oh yeah, the
Yeah.
action movie.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Those are actually her personally owned one because she used to do stuff for Victoria's Secret. So
Yeah.
that was her underwear. She did that thing in there.
Yeah, she did it.
Own
And by the
drawers.
way, that
Nice.
fall that she does during the whole little dance
Yeah.
wasn't scripted. She accidentally filmed.
She did.
Schwarzenegger actually got up because he was worried.
He thought he got hurt.
Yeah, she jumped up because she's a good actress for that.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It was always
Took it
funny.
like a chimp. Chief.
Such a good
Chief.
movie, though.
Chimp? Chief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just hilarious. Like the jokes in there because of course when we'd be like 5, 6 years old, I didn't understand. I was like, cool, pew pew, Arnold, cool, big dude.
Yeah.
But Dad's like, let's just watch the movie because it's Friday night. Why? Let's go to Blockbuster. He loved it. Mom, on the other hand, it's kind of like she really appreciated the fact that he was really watching intently while she danced. But everything else, like all the jokes, she loved it. Just that one scene is like I can already just tell Mom's kind of looking over, just giving the dagger to him, like he just watched the movie like this is a good movie for me. I love it. I'm having a good time. Doesn't really see her staring. Try to think too hard. Don't think too hard on that.
No, great movie.
But yeah, great movie though.
One of my favorite scenes in that movie still, and this is kind of bringing up the whole thing that action movies does, which is bringing up either current military tech or the newest gun coming out.
Oh yeah.
Is in that movie you have the Harrier jump jet, a vertical takeoff ability jet. Nobody really cares about that. I'm not going to Tom Clancy the podcast too much. But
That'd be for another day.
the scene where they're doing where Jamie Lee Curtis is being saved from the limousine
Yes.
was done with Jamie Lee Curtis, and the person running the camera was James Cameron himself, and they did it on Jamie Lee Curtis's birthday.
Wow.
So
Talk about
very
birthday right there.
dangerous scene was done on her birthday.
Hey, man, talk about excitement.
Oh man, I tell you, when it comes down to action movies, I'm a huge fan of it.
I can tell. I love it.
But again, I'm a gun nut, so of course I'm gonna love action movies.
Oh, definitely.
But
man,
yeah, so like I said, True Lies, great movie, funny as all get out. Great random actors in it. Like I said, Tom Arnold, Bill Paxton. You got the
And
good
young
old
Eliza Dushku as
Schwarzenegger.
well.
Yeah, Eliza Dushku does it. there's a horrible story behind Eliza Dushku doing that scene, but
Yeah.
other than that, she's
Well,
a great actress.
Yep.
It's funny because Kevin Smith calls her Duckshot,
Yeah.
and every time I see her in that, the first thing I think is, oh, look, it's young Duckshot.
Hey, man, she was
But
one of my
that's
crushes
that's
growing
probably
up.
for the Kevin Smith podcast, so we'll see how that
Ooh,
goes.
I got to be on the Kevin Smith part.
Well, you know what? If I can get famous
You
enough, popular
don't.
enough, or if I can send enough emails, let me see if we can get Kevin Smith in on it.
Get Kevin Smith on the Kevin Smith
Let's have the
podcast.
Kevin-
This is about you, Kevin.
I have some of the greatest Kevin Smith stuff.
We definitely have
I
to do this
promise you.
I'm a huge fan of Kevin Smith,
Don't want to.
so I'm definitely jumping on.
You're
But
gonna
that's for
lose
the
your
podcast.
shit. You're going to lose your mind on that. But anyway.
This is the
so-
build-up. This is the setup right now for
Yeah,
the future
so
one.
listen in on that one because I got stories.
Most definitely. So
Yes.
True Lies, great movies.
On to
What
you,
about
big
you,
buddy.
Captain Mike? What is one of your tops?
Oh gosh, I don't want to spend it so early, but I'm gonna. This is also a Christmas movie.
Oh.
I'm gonna go with Lethal Weapon.
I knew it!
Oh, okay.
Oh,
All encompassing.
Mm-hmm.
Mel Gibson with a fantastic mullet.
Oh,
Danny Glover with a great action movie cliche. Of,
he's too old for this
I-
shit.
too old for this
Too
shit.
old for this shit.
I can relate to that now.
Mr. Is it Mr. Joshua?
Mr. Joshua.
Yeah, it's played-
yeah, Busey.
Yeah, played by Gary Busey.
That was
And he plays it great.
Well,
the big pearly
well,
whites.
first of all,
man.
Oh,
Gary
yeah.
went crazy, so
Yeah. So I love this movie. It combines the young reckless officer detective
Yep.
and then the older retiring soon. They're from different backgrounds. They're not
Polar
even,
opposites.
you pretty much have, this is the guy who's training you, and here's the guy who thinks he knows everything.
This is the odd
And
couple
let's
of
just
detectives.
really
for
smash it
sure.
together. Now, not the first buddy cop movie. The first
No,
buddy
of
cop
course
movie is
not.
actually 48 Hours,
Oh, of course.
which is another great movie.
great one. Then this is very
He
much
would
in
know.
very much in that vein because
yeah.
you get a great buddy cop movie and you love them both. And
Oh, most definitely.
Mel Gibson's suicidal because his wife had passed.
Yep.
And
She
Raj
passed
is
away
just
later.
trying. Raj's character is
Good
just,
old Roger.
Raj is just trying to. He's getting to retirement, right?
He's trying to get
Yeah.
retirement.
He's getting
So-
close. He's like almost there. But
So it's just great. I mean, from the handcuffing to the guy and jumping off.
Oh, yeah.
oh, definitely.
Them, the whole, it doesn't matter anymore. Badges don't matter anymore. We're
I
going
will say-
after them.
I will
Great.
say
We got a job to do.
that, and kind of going with a whole theme of the whole idea is when it comes down to action movies, I know this one thing because I sell guns. Again, if you
Yeah.
don't know this, I do sell firearms for a living. That's my actual job. I will say that movies do kind of push what people buy for guns, and Lethal Weapon and Die Hard are movies that push people to get Beretta M9 series, which you love the Beretta M9
Exactly.
because of Resident Evil, which
Yeah.
is known as the Samurai Edge. But
Yeah.
in the Beretta was, of course, Mel Gibson's gun of choice.
Yeah.
16 in the mag, 1 in the pipe. The new semi-auto, just like all you young bucks like. And then what does good old Roger Murtaugh have? The good old 6-shooter. 357 Model 27 Magnum.
Man,
Great gun.
Martin Riggs.
Well, here's the great.
Roger Murtaugh.
Let me throw my gun knowledge on that there because
Okay.
you got good old Riggs running the M9 series. It's the new gun that's being put out in 1980s. The Beretta becomes the standard firearm for the military, and you got Roger Murtaugh running a Smith & Wesson 27 and 357.
Yeah.
By the way, customized because you don't find that, and if you can look carefully in the movie, that gun is compensated, so it's actually meant for low recoil.
Really?
That's why he has such great accuracy. Besides the fact that he's the
Nice.
replacement of a revolver.
Fair enough.
That's why when he does his little, again, we need a video for this, but when he does a little,
And
the handshake to get it straight, pops his neck, boom,
does a cowboy shot.
headshot. By the way, which is very hard to do. I've tried to do that once before with my 45. I am not good at that
Gotcha.
because I drink too much sugar.
I'm about to keep
So-
practicing. You might get there eventually.
This is it's a fantastic movie because it kicks off, in my
Great
eyes, a
movie.
fantastic series. The whole
It really
Lethal Weapon
is.
series is
It
great. to
really
me.
shows because Mel Gibson, he got a little crazier later in life, but it shows the great actor that Mel Gibson because the whole scene where he's talking about committing suicide. He's got the bread in his hand. He's put the bullet in there. He's looking at the picture of his wife. He's sitting in his trailer and he's just crying. He's just like,
It got too
this
real.
is a man he's on the edge. He doesn't have much to live for. You've taken everything from him.
It kind of felt too real in that scene. I'm not
It
gonna
got-
lie.
I'll tell you another great
That's what
scene.
got him. That's what got him another movie scene was that exact scene.
Well, another great scene is him and Roger, and Roger's like, do it. Put the gun in your mouth and do it. And then
Gives
he
him his
does,
gun.
He does do it.
He goes,
and
"Roll
he
it."
cocks in the hammer, and he catches the hammer with his finger.
By the way, which hurts a lot because with the old model Smith and Wesson, it has a little striker bit for the gun, and that shit hurts when it slams on you on the webbing of your finger.
So it's like a.
But no, like I say, it's a great movie. You get the superb acting chops out of them there. It became a 3-movie series and a TV series. I don't talk about TV series. It wasn't that great.
Well, I don't remember that.
There was a TV series.
Oh, it had like Damon Wayans in it, right?
Yeah, it had one of the Wayans in it in there.
I thought it was 4 movies.
There's
This is
4
four,
movies.
yeah, this
There's 4 movies. Yeah,
My
'cause last
brain
one-
is
Last
different.
one
I've been
fighting
drinking.
Jet Li.
Yeah, I'm about to say, what's the
Jet Li. And that's where you had that one.
Oh, wait, hold on. The best line from the second one? Diplomatic community.
boom!
Just been
Just
revoked.
vote.
Oh,
And
my
that's the wonders.
Everyone does that line.
The wonders of the one-liner. But we're going to talk about one-liners.
Yeah,
Oh, we
that's
did.
a
But like I
cliche.
said, great. And by the way, his assistant, that beautiful young woman, she's in a band. Apparently, she still looks like she does now, as she did then.
The girl that Rick slept with, and then I found her.
Really?
She still looks like
She's
she does
really
now.
pretty. She was pretty.
Oh, yeah,
sick.
she really was like.
Beautiful woman then, beautiful woman now.
I
She's
didn't
in a
know she was in a
band.
band.
She's
That's what really
great.
boggles my mind.
Oh man, but I
How
tell
about
you,
Mr. Endo? Do you remember him?
Oh.
He was in Die Hard as well.
Oh.
He had a candy bar in Die Hard, but he was
You
the one
know-
that did the electrical shock. I
Yeah,
think his
so-
name. I might be wrong on Mr. Endo, but
So the hilarious thing is-
everybody was a Mister on that.
Yeah,
that's
that's
Mr.
exactly
Joshua,
what
so that's why.
say he was the torture guy in the original Lethal Weapon. You know, he's
Right.
hitting him. He's got the car battery hooked up to the wet sponges, and he's
Yeah.
slamming him with rigs.
That was cool.
But in
That
Die
was actually
Hard,
really scary and cool.
in Die Hard, his scene was supposed to be smaller, but he added the scene where he reaches in and steals the Crunch Bar, and that caused his character to live longer because
That's
he
awesome.
put personality into the character.
Surely, I love it. That guy was great. He was a great side B
character.
movie villain.
Oh yeah, no, he was one of those guys that just appears randomly.
Yeah.
But, great, but again,
Looking around,
both great
see if anybody
movies.
notices.
If you want to continue on to one more random trivia from Lethal Weapon, if you're a fan of music, Red Hot Chili Pepper, one of the guys in Red Hot Chili Peppers there, the lead guy, his dad is in the scene from Lethal Weapon where he's buying the Christmas tree. That's his dad.
Really?
The lead singer.
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah, he was an
Okay.
actor for that scene.
Huh. I love Leo. Yeah.
I like when Riggs does the curly thing, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
slaps it around. He's like, "It's a real fucking pageant. It's a real fucking guy." And like,
It's
that's
a
so
point.
great.
That's it. I'm not playing these games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
so
know,
good.
definitely.
And then you got Joe Pesci gets in the series.
Oh,
and that's
Joe Pesci.
fantastic.
Leo gets, because whatever you want, Leo
Leo
gets.
gets. Exactly.
Oh my god. See,
So-
one of my favorite things, they actually reference
Is that
that.
on that?
And Chris
Hi,
Rock.
everybody. Yeah,
Chris Rock playing Detective Butters.
Yes.
Yeah. And Raj
Rogers-
thought he was
Rogers
trying to hit on him.
something.
I hit him, but it was quite the opposite because he was dating his daughter.
That's right.
In
That's right.
fact, he was the
His
baby
daughter.
daddy.
Yeah. Baby daddy.
They didn't say that, but I mean, at the end of the movie, like, I'm your son-in-law. Oh shit! All right.
Yeah.
He was not having it. But
That's where you got the "Why can't we be friends?" whole
Remember
scene.
when he told him though they were trying to get Benny, Uncle Benny, high on the shit in the dentist's office or whatnot.
I'm not racist, but the whole fried rice scene.
Fried
kills
rice
me.
is funny, yeah. And then,
was
but
way
that's
too
when he was telling him, he's like, "I'm doing your baby. If your baby's having my
Oh,
baby."
baby, yeah,
And
yeah.
they
Because
just laugh
everybody's
at
high on
the-
Nas. Oh yeah, I love it.
Renee Russo's in that movie. Is
Yes,
Rick's chick.
yes. And she plays the badass chick.
She's
on
in the
it.
one before that too. She's in part 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she's pretty badass.
She is.
Remember
She
they're
is.
comparing scars and stuff.
Oh, the comparing scars. Yeah, she's got the. You should. I'm sure you're a fan of the idea of the fact that on her computer is playing a rather vintage, kind of hard to find Three Stooges Nintendo game.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's how Wrigley.
right.
It's like, he's like, what is this? I
That's a
love
very
this.
rare arcade game, actually.
Extremely rare.
Really?
That's why I figured you'd get a kick out of that.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
that
I
is
figured you
really,
know
really
about that
cool.
one.
so you can find it eventually, right?
So, Lethal Weapon, you can go on to yours now, sir.
So coming up to the next one on that there, I mean, right down to the end, let me jump a little bit into the newer one on that. Bad Boys 2.
Oh, okay.
I love Bad Boys.
Bad Boys 2. It's a Michael Bay's movie, and Michael Bay does this wonderful thing
I
for
wrote
it.
down Michael Bay.
If it's not exploding, it's not a Michael Bay movie.
That's right.
Exactly.
Sure, so he created a whole thing when it came down to Transformers, and you have the Bayformers. But before that,
Yeah,
he
I
was,
like that.
you know, God damn it, Roger.
You like seeing this, don't you?
I'm gonna slap you. If we had a video thing, you see that Roger's pouring his beer in a wonderful, weird way of doing
It's
things
Modelo.
instead of doing the.
Look, I'm just stirring my
Modelo.
chili powder in my beer.
I guess, but anyways,
You're just mad because it
Bad
works.
Boys 2.
Bad Boys 2.
Bad Boys 2.
That movie is 2.5 hours long.
It
Wow.
does
It
not
feels like an hour
really
because
does not
once
feel
it
like
kicks
2
off, the
hours.
action's just going.
You go 0 to 100 just right off the bat.
You have Will Smith, the old Fresh Prince, coming out there, busting out his dual Glocks,
I
just
love
letting
the
loose
Glocks,
on
right.
everybody. You
And
have a
Martin
great
His name's
card.
Mike Jones, right?
Um,
Or am I thinking the rapper?
you're thinking about
The rapper is like, his name is Mike, but it's,
it's
not
Mike
Jones.
Lowry.
Mike
Yeah,
Lowry.
Detective Mike Lowry.
That's it.
And then
Mike
because
Jones. That's what I'm thinking.
who am I, John?
Mike Jones.
Mike Lowry.
It
Go
makes
ahead.
me, makes me feel bad that that's from like 2000s.
We don't think too hard.
I'm real old. Go ahead.
We don't talk about that.
But
too much.
like I said, Bad Boys 2, that movie, once it gets going, it kicks off.
It does.
Great action. In fact, Michael Bay does produce the whole thing where he decides to pop in on it. What's up, bud?
Did you say early 2000s? Like that's like a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
20 years ago.
it's 20 years ago.
It is 20 years ago.
Hey, Greg is in here, by the way. Greg Morrow.
good buddy,
You want to
Greg.
join the podcast, or you just doing the?
I'm just hanging back.
Your
Okay.
peanut gallery.
Hey, man,
My buddy
peanut
Cody
gallery.
does that every now and then. He does the peanut gallery. Then take a seat, join in, and have a seat and have
If you
a
want
good
to chime
giggle.
in, it's okay.
Definitely
Yeah,
do
man.
so. This mic
Jump in,
picks up a
man.
good bit there, but
If you ever got any opinions, man, just jump right in, man. Just jump in.
So a little more on Bad Boys 2.
so Bad Boys 2, great action movie. You got Michael Bay, the king of explosions. You got so Mike's slinging around his good. It's weird every time I say Mike, I just keep looking at you. It's like, wait a second.
Not this Mike. Lowry.
Mike Lowry.
You got Martin Lawrence,
Yes.
who plays his partner on. Just
He got shot in the ass.
he got shot. That was the one where he does get shot in the ass. Yes.
Yeah, like he's like,
Play-
who got
playing-
shot in the ass? Who shot you in the ass? That who
Playing
be
Marcus,
you?
Detective Marcus. It's just.
That's great.
And he couldn't get it up because he got shot in the ass.
And that brings up one of my favorite scenes where everything's about to kick off. Is the woman who's playing his sister, Gabrielle Union, the beautiful Gabrielle
She
Union,
still looks good to this day.
does that.
She's beautiful.
She most definitely she does.
Married to
Plays the
Dwayne
sister. Oh yeah,
The basketball player. Yeah.
is she? I
Yeah,
didn't know
she's
that.
married to
I know
Dwayne
that.
Wade. Yeah, there's my fun fact.
There's your fun fact, yeah.
Sports fun fact.
There we go.
So they had the wonderful shootout scene where they go to do the whole drug trade.
Ooh, I got
They
a
get
fun
jumped by
one
the
for this, by the
Jamaican
way.
gang, and then you have the car chase where she's in the SUV that's losing its doors. It's a bunch of muscle cars, and then you got Will Smith
that's
rolling
it.
after him in a Ferrari.
Oh, that Ferrari.
So she's not in the first one, right? She's
No,
in the second one.
the second one, yeah.
So
first one was Leone.
another fun fact: if you're under, 21, earmuffs on this one. There is a scene that is not cut out where you can see something private of Gabrielle Union's.
oh, yeah.
yeah.
Wow, it's weird that y'all knew this. Is it a nip slip or is it something else?
Been a lot of pause. A lot of pause movies.
Everybody's gonna go back.
It's up there with the Basic Instinct.
Talking about.
Dwayne Wade's gonna be very upset I brought this up.
Like, Gabriel, what are you talking about? Oh, shit.
Oh yeah, 'cause
They did not cut it.
No, they
didn't.
If you watch it, I think you couldn't really see it in early, but now that it's like come out on Blu-ray and everything,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can see
It's
it. So.
just like, half
Well-
speed.
well, the great thing is now-
I'm so sorry. I know I'm disappointing all the children out there. Please stop listening to this podcast.
Well, now
At
that
least
you
the
mentioned,
parents will
remember
know.
you mentioned it now because we've already had Bad Boys 3. The third one has come out.
I haven't
have
seen
not.
that one.
I haven't either.
I own it, by the way, of course.
Have you seen it?
I have seen it.
Oh, is it good?
Oh, it's pretty decent. It's worth a giggle.
Like, can we put it over here? Is it like like okay to put on the big screen?
Or is it all?
Exactly.
No,
Is it rated?
it's still explosions and blood.
Well, okay, so the question is,
I don't know. There's
Okay,
much
so-
titties.
You like blood?
Yeah, is
you like
there other
violence?
titties?
I don't know. There's not much. There's a lot of cleavage, but not a lot of titties.
So no titties, so nothing private showing.
So no nips.
No nips.
So is it okay for us to play it here at the arcade?
Possibly. That'd be up to good old Captain Mike.
Sure, after
you
8.
have to watch it. Yeah, so after 8 o'clock.
Okay. So you just bring it next time, and we'll just sit right here, come watch, have a couple of beers.
But the reason I bring it up is because, of course, once they came out with that, they had to do a box set. Whenever they get the last episode, they do a box set.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So there's a Blu-ray box set of Bad Boys, which I have bought.
I remember you told me. You showed it to me too.
Yeah, I also bought Resident Evil box set. You don't want to watch that.
That's
That's a whole other chat. But either way, Bay.
You don't hear my opinion on that one.
But like I said, great movie. You get Michael Bay. He makes an appearance in the movie.
No, does
Yeah.
When they're about to do the car chase, they go steal that Cadillac.
Oh
And right before the Cadillac, there's a guy driving a shitbox car,
Yeah.
and the guy who gets out of it is Michael Bay.
Oh,
that's
fun.
right, okay.
Fun facts.
I was wondering who that
I
was.
like that.
He doesn't get the hell out of it because he wants to drive in that car. That's when the Cadillac,
Put the poor man back in the car.
which was new at the time. It was a Cadillac CTS that drove up on that.
Yeah.
And, that's when that starts off that whole thing about running over the dead fat Johns.
All the
That's
dead, the dead does.
The dead does.
The dead does.
Which leads to another funny scene where I don't know if you can play it here because you have that whole the dead bimbo scene
Uh-oh.
with the big titties.
Oh,
Whoa.
yeah, you just
Because Marcus jumps in the hide with her. Well,
Oh,
Will
yeah.
Smith hides somewhere
I
else.
gotta
walk
watch this movie again. It's been
Hey, but
forever.
look, if you tell my wife, I'll kill you.
Like,
Jumps
just
into
tell-
the-
It's been 20 years since we've seen this movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen
You
it.
gotta
in a
bear
long
with
time.
us there, youngins.
What about you, Raj? You got another one?
Yeah, that was another good one, bud.
So for me, there's a few more, but I'm gonna keep going with Michael Bay. I'm just gonna keep the trend. You know this one. YouTube. My other favorite one.
Love Transformers.
Shut up. It's not the Transformers. The Island.
The Island.
The Island.
That's where you have peak,
No.
uber adorable Scarlett Johansson.
She was pretty.
She was
Super
like she was
cute.
very starting out. She was just starting out, and Ewan McGregor is kind of like getting it. It's like he's getting to his
The
groove.
ever handsome
Lincoln.
Ewan McGregor. And then you
Lincoln, what's
he-
his name? Lincoln something.
Lincoln
It's a
6
number.
Echo.
Lincoln
Yeah.
6 Echo because she plays Jordan 2 Delta.
Yeah.
And I remember that because of the scene where they're at the bar.
It was like
So
so.
she has that wonderfully young moment, yes.
Yeah, because they're at the bar, and she's like, "Hey, baby girl, can I get your number?"
Hey, yo, can I get your number? And
Yeah,
she's
she's like,
like, 2
2
Delta.
because that's the whole thing she knows is as far as
Right,
numbers.
right.
I'm
She
like,
doesn't
That
understand
was a
because
great movie and a
Yeah,
really
because
cool concept.
all the clones, spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, they're all clones, and they're supposed to be just
actual real people that
They're
can
real people.
afford
They're
it.
using them as organ
Organs.
transplants,
Organ donors, basically.
They're
Waiting for
skin
something bad to
grafts,
happen.
birth without having to worry about the pregnancy.
Michael Clark Duncan's in that.
Yes,
Oh.
he plays the big footballer
Yeah,
who's
big footballer.
super just childish happy with the glasses in there.
Right.
And he's emotional too.
Very much. But Mark Clark does really good emotional roles. in
I
that.
love
Let's
it.
bring back the Green Mile.
Who's the bad guy in this?
Sean Bean.
I
Yes,
know
Sean
Sean
Bean,
Bean.
yes.
Ah,
The
you
man
know
who
it.
dies in every movie.
Yeah,
he's
he
in,
does.
pretty
There's a
much.
few, like 2 movies he doesn't die in. I can't remember. That's how bad it is.
Got his
But I
head cut
know he
off in
doesn't
Game of
die.
Thrones.
We don't talk about
Spoiler alert!
I know, right? For me, I love Sean Bean. He's one of my favorites. But like, why did they have to kill Sean Bean?
Steve Buscemi's in that movie too. He plays the guy that helps get him out, and then when
That's
they're out,
right.
he gives him a little bit of some help until he gets.
Oh,
He gets like, he gets
I
off
think
by
of another
the
great one.
organization. And
sorry, we're gonna have a 50 year.
That was to me. I wasn't too big on it.
I can't believe you brought that one up. That's a really good one, right?
It is such a good movie.
Oh, I love that. That was one of those movies that a lot of people kind of forgot about.
really good.
but it's very
Such
good.
a cool concept.
Like,
Very, yeah, because it's in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have
It wasn't like too far in the
you have like
future.
you have like a flying jet. That's when the Dodge Magnum was out. Which,
Yeah.
if you don't remember, the Dodge Magnum was the muscle car station wagon that Dodge
Oh,
put
that's
out for a
right.
bid.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was like, so I like the concept of that movie. It was pretty cool. It was pretty great because the guy's like, oh, here we have clones' bodies in vegetative states, and like, they call it in the umbrella sack. Like, it's just like, IV bag. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But they're like behind the scenes. Yeah, they keep dying because they're not alive. So we actually have to make them they're alive. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta be logic breaking with this shit. You're playing God.
Well,
yes,
no, and they
but-
had a great way of explaining it because
Yeah.
they're so like, you could regrow a kidney, sure, fine and dandy, but apparently it doesn't live by itself.
Right.
So what a better way to live it than just make a clone
Yeah.
that you can take the kidney out because it's going to be your
And
exact
so the
clone.
concept is you win a lottery to go to the
island.
Island,
But if
which-
you go to the island, you're really getting your
Harvested.
your
You're
organs harvested
Yeah, the
for
person-
whatever the real life
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen this.
If you haven't
It's
seen it,
pretty
it's a
good.
great movie.
It's a great
Yeah.
movie. It's one of those random kind of like out there action movies.
That's a
that
great one,
not
Raj.
people
I totally
know.
forgot about that
Because
movie.
for me, that opened to go for Michael Bay movie because, like, I had never heard of him at the time. My sister, she's like, "Oh, you should check out this movie." Like, she's kind of like on the indie movie stuff. I didn't really think nothing of it. I saw trailers on the TV, like, okay, it looks pretty actiony.
Yeah,
After
so
she
you-
saw it, so I'm like,
Yeah, you
oh,
go back
man,
in
I'll
time,
know
it's
what's
I
Scarlett
happening.
think of it. It's totally an action. I agree.
Yeah.
It's an action movie, but I think of it more of on the sci-fi side of things.
It kind of is. Yeah.
It is a
But a lot of
Yeah.
those things, a lot of those movies kind of cross over.
Oh, yeah.
No, definitely. Because I think one of my favorite lines from that movie was, it's like, you remember when that big building and the giant R's is falling and they're just falling down, like
Yeah.
they barely live. you got that one construction worker. It's like man, somebody upstairs must really like you guys. And then he sees Scarlett, getting out like, man, Jesus must really love you if he let you live, something like that. I'm like, I agree with you on that one, man. Because at the time, she was.
Well, that's when Scarlett Johansson, she was still doing her modeling career. So,
so
all the pictures of her in the Victoria's Secret stuff was her actual stuff.
Yeah.
Before you get to see her in like Iron Man, where she became Black Widow.
Yeah.
Right.
And this was after, because I always forget. It makes me laugh when I bring it up. People are like, don't forget, she's the little sister in Home Alone 3.
Oh, that's true.
She was. I keep forgetting that. Like, she had like longer hair, just like kind of short.
She was itty bitty totally, yeah.
Yeah, she was.
Then she got to be a beautiful woman. And now she's Black Widow.
Yeah, totally.
She did good. She did
Most
good.
definitely. Oh, yeah. So what about you, Mike? What about that next one?
Well, I'm going to take it back old school to one that I absolutely love, and this does cross into that sci-fi genre, if you will, is RoboCop.
RoboCop. Yeah.
I love RoboCop. And if you study this movie, it literally is the perfect movie. There's like not a moment of it that isn't, it's got satire of, the way it would be in the future. And
well, let me just say, Mike, I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $1.
Of course, you put that line in there.
You're seeing a fantastic performance from Peter Weller, which looks. He plays this robot cop that's having these memories and these flashbacks of when he was alive. But now that he has passed, he's actually property of the big, kind of bad in the film, which is OCP.
And don't forget the OCP Corporation. The first movie is based in Dallas, Texas.
It is in Dallas.
They have the ball, don't they? You can see the ball.
Yeah, you can when they're on the highway.
When they're doing the first shot at the beginning of the movie, and the actual OCP building itself is
downtown city. It's like City Hall.
The City Hall.
Yeah, that's right. It was.
They just let matte painting.
They matte painted
the
the entire top, but the rest of it is OCP.
So you got to think when you see that they had a big Ed 209 right outside that summit.
They should have. They should put one out there just for gifts.
That would be great.
I would get so many pictures.
I think we've talked about me and Trevino definitely have. We talked about they're actually in Detroit, putting a bronze statue of RoboCop up.
I donated I donated $5 to this.
Yes, you're my man, dude.
Well, they were doing the whole let's get a RoboCop statue put in Detroit. I was like, I got $5. There's $5 in my PayPal.
So this
is
over here. A Paul Verhoeven movie. It is gory. It has some boobs in it in the shower scene, which I totally forgot about because we were playing it up here for a while, and then all of a sudden it was like, boobs! Even after 8 o'clock, we try to be respectful and not show something that may offend anybody in the building. But the violence is fantastic, and then you have. The dad from that 70s show got Red.
Yeah. He plays the robber, doesn't he?
Dude, he plays Terrence Boddicker. Yeah. Then, if I'm getting that wrong, put in the comments.
Just in the comments. Correct us.
My favorite line in that one is when he walks in and it's like the young CEO is messing around with the two chicks. He's like, bitches leave. You're like, yes!
Just a megaphone to everybody.
His voice is like a natural, weird noise megaphone, and he's like, bitches leave. And they're like, well, see you later, Danny, whatever the hell his name is. And they're like, call me. They bounce.
I love that scene.
It's like drugs.
He's screwing the suppressor on his Desert Eagle, and he pops the guy.
Yeah, and he puts a CD in. Because it's totally the
future.
He puts a CD in.
Apparently the future had compact discs.
And it's Dick Jones.
Dick Jones.
Mike Jones. No, it's Dick Jones.
Dick Jones.
So Dick Jones, and he basically gives a full confession to RoboCop later, which is another thing we're going to talk about.
I was hired by Dick Jones.
Dick Jones. I love when Terrence Boddicker he spits on the paper. He said,
"Give me my fucking phone."
My fucking. He spits on the paper. I think that was actually ad-libbed. I think he did that.
I would not be surprised.
But that's a great movie. I mean, just love it. It's so violent, so gory, so really futuristic. And, I'd buy that for $1. And they built a whole world. You feel like you were living in that
world. And they played commercials from the world.
Oh, yeah. They had the fake battleship. It's called Nukem or something.
Yeah, like that. I love that. It's like, you crossed my borders.
Yeah.
Don't expect any help from me this time, mister.
It's so good, and that same satire, it just really plays up. And Paul Verhoeven movie, another one on my list.
It got pretty surrealistic at the time.
Well, it's funny because they have one of my funny in jokes is that they make fun of a car in that movie. Chrysler made the 6000, and when they call it the 6000 SUX, which is the 6000 sucks. Because it was a bad car.
Okay,
it was terrible.
What they finally have to talk about that movie is when Emil gets into the toxic.
Oh, the radioactive.
And he comes out, and he's like, and
that was horrible.
They hit him, and he turns to just slop, dude.
Blood.
It just blows up like a
He's
melon.
Help me! Don't touch me, man!
That was smoke's coming out of him. So great, dude.
That was
sketchy. I was really enamored with like nuclear bombs and toxic waste as a kid. After I saw that, I was like. Everything I saw that was like gross, like coming out of like a dumpster somewhere, I'm like, that's probably nuclear waste. You probably should stay away from that.
You saw the RoboCop. That's what's not going to happen.
Thanks to him, we got one of the most iconic RoboCop one-liners because he's at the gas station getting gas in his bike, and what does RoboCop do, Philip? Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Yeah, that's a great one.
And it brings it back to the beginning of the movie because he does the same thing to him when he gets to jump on him before he becomes RoboCop.
And quick note for the sequel. There's multiple sequels, but you don't need to go past the second one. The second one is really good.
The second one is good.
With Kane, and they have a big arcade
Kane
fight.
and Nuke.
And they had Nuke was the drug that everyone was taking.
That was putting cassette tape holes, which was old eyedropper stuff.
Yeah, it was great. So the second one's really, really good.
And by the way, that is not Frankie Muniz. If you want that, is not Frankie Muniz.
He
said like it.
It's great.
Everyone kept saying it, like, no.
No, it is not Frankie, because that movie took place well before Frankie Muniz was.
I'll tell you another fun scene from the first one. I just want to mention the second one.
I
I love the second one, but another fun scene for the first one is when Boddicker is at the drug lord's cocaine factory or whatever.
Oh yeah, that big ass
RoboCop bounding on the door. He's ready.
The police knocks slowly,
and he comes in and he locks in on everybody. But right before that, I love he's trying to negotiate and they pull all the guns guns. The Mets are playing. Tonight, I love that.
You know what gets me that scene? Voice. And nobody ever talks about it. You know what gets me that scene though?
What's that?
Is the guy's drinking wine and he just goes up, dips his fingers in it, and takes it. And then the guy goes, it takes a drink out of it a second afterwards.
That's his wine. But one of the great parts of that is RoboCop coming in and he's already locked up everybody, and he does a Magic Johnson pop somebody off the top rail. He shoots him for no reason, just to show off.
Better yet, he's got one arm back, one arm forward. He's looking that way. And he goes,
he does. He does a backward shot and then under the arm. He's doing trick shots. It's so good.
And if you're curious, the gun he uses is a Beretta M93R.
Oh, nice. Bring it back.
Triple shot. Yep. The fun part is they were going to use the Desert Eagle originally. But the Desert Eagle looked too small in the RoboCop synthetic hand. So they need something bigger. So they just took a big fucking compensator, slapped it on
that's a great gun.
It is.
Yeah. And it came out of his thigh.
His right thigh. And he did the TJ laser spin to put it away. Because his son wanted to.
It's the future TJ Hooker.
And he's sitting there practicing the spin before he becomes RoboCop.
Yeah.
And since he's a robot, now you do it perfectly.
And then his partner, it's escaping her name of mine right now. Man, she was great in it.
I know who you're talking about.
It's going to hit me later, and I'm going to yell it out.
Murphy. No, that was his name.
Murphy was his name.
Because she came out on a TV show on NBC, Crossing Jordan, later on,
that's for the Crossing Jordan podcast, Roger.
I'm just giving the listeners a bridge. But if you want to know who she is,
Crossing Jordan
podcast. You know what's funny?
That show.
This is an empty can. I can just throw it at you right now. But I don't want
what's funny is in canon, because everybody always talks about action movies and not reloading. In canon, RoboCop's Auto 9 has a 50-round magazine. Don't know how it works, but it has a 50-round magazine.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of ammunition.
Just for one mag? That's all.
Just for one mag.
Do you want to go to another subject, or do you want to do one more round of favorite movies?
Well, you're asking me about favorite action movies. I got 14 more on the list.
I know, that's what I'm saying. We may want to get to a different subject.
See, I can do.
You know what? Let's go ahead and move on to the subject because we're going to eventually talk more about it because again, everybody has a favorite action movie. It seems.
Sure.
Oh yeah,
sure,
definitely.
So. My next thing is, and it's the one thing that kind of makes people ask things, and you probably shouldn't, because when it comes to action movies, you watch it because you take your brain out and you enjoy these.
Yeah,
You enjoy
popcorn.
shit.
It's all about that popcorn.
Oh, definitely.
What makes an action movie an action movie?
Ooh.
Is it the big burly guy? Is it the one-liner? Is it the copious amounts of ammunition wasted?
That's
To me,
big to me.
To me, what makes an action movie is you got the main character guy, you put him in the situation, and not only is he ready for the situation, he decimates it.
Yeah.
That's why
Kills it.
in the when
He's
it comes-
got to almost be dead by the end of it to
Like,
make
you know,
it.
kind of like staggering,
to make
you know, kind of barely walking out. Oh, it wasn't too bad, or you
and that's
know.
what brings me to kind of going into the whole thing of talking about our round of action movies. Is let me bring you to my favorite action movie.
Okay, come on.
Are we doing like the top number one?
This is my. When anybody asks me about, if
All right, let
you,
me have a number one.
If you
Let's
run
go.
into me and
I
ask,
didn't know we were doing this earlier.
you run to
so-
me and ask me what my favorite action movie is, it's a super quick answer: Commando.
Okay, good old
Okay,
Arnie.
hold on. Just to.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay.
That's also my favorite action movie.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
As
But,
a child, let me bring you back. Because how old are you?
I'm 32.
You'll be
How old
33
are you?
this year. I'll be 33 in 2 months.
Okay, I'm 43, so I got 10 years on y'all. Now
The elder
listen,
nice.
statesman Mike Jones.
I'll let you get to all your points, but let
Go
me
ahead.
tell you how I watched it the first time.
I'm listening.
I want to
The
hear
first
this.
time I watched Commando, I watched it in black and white
Oh,
on a
wow.
black and white TV
and
and on a Betamax tape.
If you don't know,
Ooh.
people, there was two media ways to watch yourself at home. There was VHS and Betamax. Betamax was the one that didn't win.
Yeah,
But
it's
anyway,
kind of like Blu-ray and
HD
HD.
DVDs. Yeah. Unfortunately, no one really knows HD DVDs. I have like all
That's
three.
when I saw it, and I fell in love with it. And I eventually got to see it about 1,000 times on VHS.
Oh,
Wow.
So go ahead, tell me all about it.
So
So what do you think?
when it comes to what makes an action movie is Commando. You got the guy who's ex-military.
Sure.
It
Fair
starts
enough.
off with the wonderful thing, because again, if you didn't know, Arnold Schwarzenegger is Austrian. Not Australian, he's Austrian.
Austrian, no L in there.
And
I've
the
been
mov-
to Austria.
And the movie starts.
Ooh, really? That's it.
Beethoven's from there, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
I'm pretty sure, yes.
So the whole movie starts off in a German reference in the fact that he's walking out the woods. He's got the big log.
He's carrying a tree.
He's carrying a tree.
let's just
It's
put it
not a
right
log,
there.
it's a tree.
and,
Let's
and
be
he's
honest.
pointing out the idea of the kind of weird subject matter, but Nazis had this idea of the perfect man.
Yes.
And it's him walking out the forest. He's got his saw. He's got the tree, and he's walking out. And he's
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is the perfect man because in that movie he plays, the guy who's ex-military, ex-special forces. The man could smell you before he gets there,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was Wolverine before Wolverine was a thing.
Yeah.
and he's just the baddest of bad. You don't fuck with the man.
Matrix.
You don't fuck with Matrix.
Oh, God.
Is it John Matrix, right?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
In my memory serves, it is John Matrix.
All right.
And another random bit with the whole that thing is when everything kind of kicks off, his daughter is what he's doing the whole thing for. They take his daughter, who's
Yep.
played by a very young Janine Garofalo.
Wrong.
Was it not your girl?
Alyssa Milano.
Was it Alyssa?
It was Wilson Milano, right? Yeah.
Ah, my brain was
Alyssa
stupid.
Milano.
It was Alyssa
I
Milano.
forgot. It's like,
Shane Garofalo.
Anyway. Woo! I
She
think
had
she
her
almost
time.
played it.
she did have the workout video she did.
But anyway, so the whole thing is they steal his daughter, which
Yes.
the one thing you don't do is you don't take a man's daughter.
No.
Because next thing you know, the man's on a mission to get his daughter back.
That's right.
And what really gets it going is he grabs the air stewardess of Rachel Day Chong, Tommy Chong's daughter.
I don't know that.
Yes, it is. Rachel Day Chong is Tommy Chong's daughter, and she plays what's her name?
It's Radon Chong.
It's Radon Chong. Yeah.
Correction,
But,
Nate.
I know.
Sorry.
I've been drinking too much.
I told you this is my favorite.
Hey, you know what? Hey, we're glad Mike's here.
So-
Premium fact checker right here.
It goes into the whole thing of the idea of the Army surplus store that has everything.
And that's amazing. Like, I can't tell you how many times I played Commando in the front yard. Not even go Commando in the front yard.
Oh,
Played Commando in the front yard.
That
I had
raises
a
a lot of
whole
questions.
like summer and a half, like maybe 2 years of I collected tiny plastic guns and grenades and little Uzis and little rifles and every kind of weapon I could carry because that's what he does.
Yeah.
The rocket launcher, the big box rocket launcher.
The Flash M202.
Damn. All right.
Yeah,
I
he
like
knows,
that.
He knows his guns. I'm telling you.
There's one thing I know.
So in my great grandfather's garage, there was a box, and it was the same shape is this. It was a little longer.
Yep.
I got that box. I cut it down. I left one flap open, and I put 4 Coke cans in it to
Just-
make it look like I was carrying this thing around the yard.
Yeah,
the
And
giant.
so what I would do, and again, this is a sad note because I didn't have anyone else to play commando with. So I would get all these weapons in my green backpack, and I would, get all this stuff, and I'd put a little eye black on, and I'd go in the yard
camo.
and imagine all these Colombian drug lord type people all over the place, and I would shoot. And my favorite part about Commando is he carries literally an army's worth of arsenal.
An army.
Yeah. Like
And when he
straps
runs
all.
out of bullets, like these guns in my head are so important. He runs out of bullets, he just throws it down on the ground.
Yeah.
And so this is what I did. I would have so many guns strapped to me,
Oh, yeah.
playing Commando as a little kid in the
I just
80s.
picture Mike's kinda
And I'm at my
wobbling.
great-grandparents' house, and I can barely move. And I'm like, just shooting, and as soon as I run out of bullets, I throw that gun on the ground. So I do this for like 45 minutes, right?
Everyone does that.
And by the end of it, I'm still in the gun out of the people's hands because I ran out of bullets on everything that I've been
definitely,
carrying. I've
you got
thrown
to.
every grenade, everything. So the war's all over. And I had to, since I was too young to have a daughter, I was saving my sister, which I didn't have a sister, or I didn't have a sister at the time. I had sisters
At the time,
later.
yeah.
That's the time.
So
Hey, you
I was
love
always
books of that.
saving my sister in this scenario, this commando scenario. But the suckiest part about this was I had to spend another 20 minutes going around finding all the guns I threw down in various parts of the yards and on the roof and off the shed, and guns and fake grenades all over the yard. Like, it was
Make sure
crazy.
you clean your mess before you go inside. Otherwise,
I
you're
had
going
to
to get
catch
mad.
on and drag them on, just fill that backpack all the way back up full of guns. And
A tiny Mike waddling back to the
So,
garage, trying to.
But I was like, okay, I saved my sister. Damn it, I gotta clean the yard
Now it's
for
time to
20
clean it
minutes.
up.
looking
Kind of
for-
look around.
That's the one thing that people don't think about is that once you're done saving the world, you gotta clean it up.
You gotta clean up.
There's
the
always a
world.
mess to
You
clean
gotta
up. There's always a
save the
mess.
environment after you save the world.
Rose kept the plan knocks on your door.
All my plastic guns are probably rotting in a
Storage unit, probably.
no, probably in a junkyard somewhere.
Still breaking down.
Landfill.
Still breaking down.
I mean, it was like, what, 20 years ago,
So anyway, that's my little committee. Go ahead. This
No,
is
and
your movie,
I
bud.
love the
It's
part
good to
because,
hear,
he goes to his army surplus store.
It's great.
He grabs a bulldozer and he pulls down the whole thing, gets into it, and finds the random magic button.
Yes.
And it opens up, and you get the wonderful scene of there's all the guns.
Like
The wall
this
of
is
guns.
This is like a black market dealer inside
Exactly.
the Army Navy.
And nobody questions it because it just comes down to the fact of
So did you not at that point, the first time you saw it, think all Army Navy?
yeah. Every
just
time
in
you
the
go,
back room?
every time I go to an army, well, back in then because they don't have many army surplus stores anymore.
Right.
Not as
You
much
don't have any
anymore.
army navies around, but back then, when you going
Yeah,
one day, where
I
it's
know
like,
what
it's like, I wonder what wall I have to knock
You got a
down.
commando room back there
Yeah.
somewhere with a rocket launcher in it.
Rocket
And the whole
launcher.
scene.
What do you have to say to get into the commando room?
Exactly. What do you have to do? What was he doing that you had to get into that room?
Is there like a
And
code?
not only that, he wasn't just rocking, your standard rifles. He had the big fucking grenade rocket launcher, the M202. There's all these assault rifles on the wall. He gets the Uzi and everything from there. Great multiple
Oh,
options.
it's so good.
And then you have that wonderful moment, and it kind of harkens to another movie, which I'll talk to in just a second. But so
It's so good. Look,
Ray
one of the
Donovan-
great movie cliches is he's on a time clock.
yeah.
So he's supposed to be on a plane, and when that plane lands, if he's not on it, then they're going to kill his daughter.
Exactly. Yep.
So he gets off the plane. I mean, amazingly, he
Yes.
rips out of the bottom of the plane and just falls a incredible amount, which is another
Into like
action movie
an
cliche.
Everglades area.
Yeah. But then he sets his clock, and he's got to be in Colombia in like
What, 12
13 hours or
13
some
hours,
shit.
12, yeah, 12
Like,
hours.
yeah.
You see the timer just like
And
going
he
through.
spends like that plane must have had like 8 layovers because he spends the whole freaking day
Oh, yeah.
before he gets on like a little pontoon plane and
Not
gets there in
only
time.
does he not only is he able to get weapons from a surplus store,
Yeah.
he's able to grab the air stewardess, find an airplane,
I
and
love when
then
he
fly
rips
that
the-
bitch.
Did he
out
rip
there.
the seat out of a Porsche?
Yeah,
he did.
He fights in the mall, and then that one little
The whole
dude.
mall fight, yeah.
This was all in a span of 10 minutes. Just so
speaking
you
of
know.
a little dude, one of my things I love to do is, especially a lot of my dude guys at work, is every now and then they'll make a funny at work.
Yeah.
I go, I like you. I kill you last.
I love that line.
Yeah, and I love that.
That's one of the best. I use that with my buddies every now and
And
then.
he's got him by one leg. He's holding him over the cliff.
Yes.
Hey, Sully, remember when I told you I killed you last? Yeah, you did. I lied. Let's go. Obvious dummy just falling.
You said the rag doll. Like,
Did he rip like an elevator out of a wall or something?
No, it was
the
the phone booth.
Yes.
Phone booths again.
God. That's
dudes
so
are like
great.
ripping shit out of
Sully's
everything.
in the phone booth. He picks it up and he pretty much just Donkey Kongs this bitch.
I'm like,
He's so strong.
And the cops, the mall cops, the armed mall cops at you are just like,
At the time when they used
we
to
can't do shit about this.
I don't know. They're like they call in backup and stuff. And
I
how about
mean-
the great soundtrack with the Colombian? Dun, 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 dun. It's like
Yeah.
Colombian. It's like
Oh,
what is that?
is that-
like
what is-
Brazilian?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
drums
think
or
my
something?
roommate knows that song because he's a big music nut. You know, in the garage, he blares his music. Like, hey Roger, this is what this song is. I was like, I'm over here getting trivia. I'm like saying anything. I'm pretty sure I've heard the song before because like he plays music I've heard before. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this song was in Commando, but I don't know.
It's so great. That movie is that's another one that I feel like is a perfect movie. There's no downtime. The kill count is ridiculous. When he gets there and he plants claymores all over the place.
And that's
Just
what builds
everywhere.
up to one of my favorite action movie cliches is the arm up scene.
Yes.
They've landed the plane.
Yeah.
He gets
The
up.
arm up montage.
He's got his tack pants on. He puts his vest, at the time the advanced tack vest, and now he's got grenades, which is a very unsafe way to tie grenades to your vest. He holsters the pistol that he never really uses.
You know, it's the old school pull off the vest and chuck it. You know,
he's
that's how it
got-
I
goes.
bet when he gets locked in the tool shed.
Oh my god!
He puts some hurting on some boys out of that
And it's
tool
one of my
shed.
favorite scenes is where he grabs the M60. He's got the belt around his arm, and this belt's just changing length every scene.
Yes.
You never see him reload. You don't have to see him
Dude,
reload.
he cuts down so many rose bushes in that garden. They're just like...
He's just let it loose, and of course it's just Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger.
How else is he gonna get out? You know?
Do you think the gardener is looking out the window going, motherfucker?
I just finished
I
those.
just got them roses
just got those
trimmed.
plates.
He just got the tops off of all of them.
like small trim leaves.
there's
in here,
there's little statues getting blown to shit up.
It's just-
I think,
Cut, mow.
and then when
Everything mowed
everything's
down.
exploding, one of the favorite things is it's obvious you can see it, but you can see the stunt guys launching off their platforms. You see the
Wilhelm
closely.
scream left and right.
Oh my! I love the.
Or when they
robots.
blow up when he's hitting the buildings with the big old rocket launcher, you can tell they're dummies just standing in front of fake facades.
It's great. I like
Like
the ones that don't
stilts.
launch. They just kind of like
Just stand there and they just kind of rock with the explosion.
They just fall over, explosion, fall over. He ran out of people to kill. He's killing fake people.
Even
My
better
favorite
was
is
the
them
fact where
jumping.
going back to the where he's in the garden shed, he throws the saw blade at the guy.
I'm telling you,
He grabs
like a ninja star.
Yeah, like zoom, like what
He's
the
he
hell?
like-
grabs the guy.
The home improvement ninja star.
Exactly.
Wow. I mean, if
he
you
grabs
do
the guy by his obviously fake arm, which you can see tucked into his shirt, and he chops it with the
Machetes
machete.
it off.
Oh, it just
So good.
Oh, great movie.
Like
What a
shoulder blades
movie.
like really even, straight out. Like I don't know, man. Is that his arm? I don't know, man. Cuts off. No, he cut his arm off. Okay, let's not really look too hard into this.
And it's just him just blaring ammunition.
He kills poor Mac from another great action movie, Predator. Where
Yeah.
he kills him in he eats green berets for breakfast.
Yeah, he does. My favorite is like seeing like some of the enemies or like some of the stunt guys. Like you just see them like jump. They just
Yeah.
leap. Like,
Oh, yeah.
ugh.
Oh yeah, they're on their platform. You can see the platform actually launching them off.
So the last thing to talk about this is another thing we're going to get to here with the cliches is the foreign enemy, like his old buddy.
the Latin.
No, not him. I'm talking about Mr. Chainmail.
Oh yeah.
I forget what his name is now.
Oh,
But he kept calling him John and Benny. His name's Benny too. Uncle Benny's back in this movie.
fucking Benny doesn't.
They have a knife fight, and literally this dude looks like a doughy, overweight, mustached guy, and he's fighting freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger at the most ripped he could possibly be.
You know,
and he's
tossing
got
back and forth.
chainmail on, which is hilarious.
You know,
He's
just
having a
holding
knife
blade.
fight, and
Just
and
tossing,
Literally,
yeah.
Arnold's trying to let him have a little bit of
Fun.
win. In this,
Give him
you
some
know.
leeway. Give him some
Yeah.
fun at
Oh,
least.
Bennett.
Bennett.
Yep.
Blow off some steam.
Let out some steam,
Bennett.
Bennett. Yes, it's
Oh
so
my
great.
god.
I'm not just gonna shoot you.
Oh, is the wrestling over?
Wrestling's over.
Yeah, probably. Just hit the middle aux button on the big stereo. There'll be a Bluetoothy one, and yeah, hit the one that says Bluetooth underneath it. I'm sorry.
Bluetooth.
It says underneath it on the little tag. There's some little inside.
Yeah, a little behind the scenes
electric
of the arcade.
Starship behind the scenes.
Behind the, there you go.
I'm not just gonna get. I want to put one between your eyes. And he cocks the Uzi and he just spears it with the pipe.
And it lets off some steam.
Let off some steam, Bennett.
That was awkward. I'm like, how's that
Bennett.
even work?
I wish his name was Uncle Benny now.
Which is
But
unfortunate
it's great.
because I've heard that a lot of people who met the actor who plays him say he's an asshole in real life.
Oh.
And it sucks because
Yeah.
he's an iconic bad guy. So
Damn.
Turn it down! I have
Wow.
to have him turn it down a little bit so we don't get flagged on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, we don't need no, no DMCA.
but like I said, I can sit there and watch
But
Commando all day.
But Commando's pretty good.
Great movie.
Yeah.
I'm a gun nut. And what's funny is, speaking of
Yeah.
gun nut, is Soldier of Fortune magazine actually they've had a whole thing for Arnold Schwarzenegger saying that they are tired of a lot of actors who just can't act with guns.
Yeah.
But Arnold Schwarzenegger did a lot of training for the movie.
Yeah.
And they said that they actually praised him, saying that it was a very good playing.
Like, he actually knew what he was doing.
A soldier
Yeah.
using a gun. So it was just the fact that Arnold took the time of
To
being
actually
Arnold
learn.
Schwarzenegger to learn how to use the guns.
Yeah.
How to function them, how to do it all. When you do see him reloading or using it in a function way, that he's
Yeah.
actually doing it like a trained person should.
Exactly, yeah. And
You know, he's supposed to be a special forces kind of guy on there.
Yeah,
so
so-
it's great the fact of how they play it off.
yeah, because,
It's-
he's
it's
going to be
wonderful.
prestigious, he's going to be on point, because,
Yeah, and Arnold Schwarzenegger was a good actor for that.
Oh, he definitely was.
The man only had so many lines back then, but as he got into it, his accent
Yeah.
kind of moved away from everything.
It did, man.
He's one of my titans of action movie acting.
He is, because, like, for me, one of my other favorite movies with him, it's very cheesy, one of the very cheesiest action movies he's ever been in. Batman and Robin with George Clooney, when he played Mr. Freeze. Now, the reason why I'm segueing this one is because this is actually one of my coworkers' favorite movies with him. That's one of his. We're actually talking. Oh, so we're kind of like
So we
on
just
the topic
segued
already.
from Commando to Batman and Robin.
Because that's
What?
So this is
Well,
actually.
it's because Arnold Schwarzenegger plays Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, and
Oh,
so
yeah, okay.
so my coworker.
Totally an action movie. Anything Arnold Schwarzenegger is an action movie.
Exactly, because like my coworker and I, we talking about because I got really bored one time and I just happened to watch Batman and Robin. And I'm like, oh wait, because my coworker, he loves Batman and Robin. It's one of his favorites. He's like, I don't care what anyone says, it's a fun movie, even though it's not great. It's fun. He loves it.
I love the other Batman. I mean, be it the Val Kilmer or the
See,
George Clooney.
For me, Val
I
Kilmer
enjoy
will
this.
always be the Batman for me.
Well, the handsome Batman.
He's
he plays
very
me.
handsome.
Y'all,
George.
you young guys.
Shut up.
Okay, Michael Keaton. But
I don't think Michael Keaton is the best Batman,
But-
I do love the first two Batmans of the old series.
with Adam West.
Out of all, no. I love Batman, the regular '89 Batman.
Yeah.
89 Batman
and
and Batman Returns.
yeah, those are pretty good. But it was just funny because
They go to hell after that. Let's be honest.
right. 'Cause to me, it was just so much fun. Cause because he was talking about how Mr. Freeze, Arnold being, you can tell.
What
in this
happened?
movie-
I went and changed the station, and
And
we
then-
went to Batman and Robin.
but it was just because for me, I always felt like Arnold has fun doing some movies. Like,
Well, I love the fact that the way how they play it off is because Mr. Freeze is like not only was he a brilliant scientist, he was also a triathlon athlete. That's why he's
Yeah.
so big.
he's so buff.
He's
but-
ripped as hell.
But it just makes me laugh because in this movie, he is having too much fun with his one-liners, the being Mr. Freeze. Because he's just kind of when he busts into his ice tank. All right, everyone, chill, and he just starts freezing him.
The one-liner.
But
my favorite one-
to me, Arnold Schwarzenegger is king of the one-liner.
Oh yeah, I mean, remember later on by the end, with the giant telescope that's supposed to be a laser to freeze everything. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age, and then everyone just starts freezing. I'm like, okay, this dude, he was nothing but one-liners for Batman and Robin.
I love the fact that he was immune to poison ivy because his heart was cold.
Well, I mean, okay, so if you give me a minute, I can debunk that really quick. So, okay, so with poison ivy, when she would do the pollen, this and that, of course, plants, they thrive in, moderate to, some heat. And of course, living organisms, like being humans, they have the heat, so it could actually, contain her poison, pollen, pheromones, whatever you want to call it. But since Mr. Freeze is, well, he's cold, he's almost ice, pretty much walking ice cube, to be a matter of fact. Plants they can't thrive in cold temperatures, in cold climates. So you can even tell, so when the whole shimmer happens, it turns blue, freezing, and it just falls. So yeah, it was a good one-liner, but that's how you debunk it. Yes, I sat here and did the math. I did the formula.
Roger. Chill out.
Oh,
Chill out,
okay. See, you know what?
Chill out.
I gave you that in.
You know how long I was waiting for the perfect moment to say chill out.
Dude, you threw the alley-oop and he just dunked it on you.
I know he
Sweet.
did. But the worst part is I can't give
By
you
the way-
like that because our
by the way-
is not like that.
Uma Thurman did do a great poison ivy.
Oh
Yeah.
my god,
That woman was leggy as all get out, first of all.
You're pretty late.
And in
Very
fact,
much so.
going to another part of the podcast, the fact of women in action movie, she does a great action movie, but she's a very
Oh my
leggy
God.
woman.
very
It
like
was a great action movie.
for me. My so far, you know, this my favorite role for her, Miss Mia Wallace.
Oh, I bet you always love Mia Wallace.
I don't. Would you
See, I like her as the bride better than Mia Wallace.
See, The Bride is my second favorite for her role when she does it. I don't know if you count Pulp Fiction as an action movie. I don't.
I mean, it can be. It's got some action parts. It does have some action
What
parts.
does?
Pulp Fiction.
No.
It's a
It's
very.
got- it's got some. I wouldn't call it
Crime
an action
drama.
movie,
It's a very gray area in my opinion. 'Cause,
but it does have some good in parts. But coming down to
That'll be another
random
thing.
known fact, kind of going off the whole idea that we're
Fun
watching
facts.
Batman and Robin. Fun
Yep.
fact: the freeze armor is owned by Arnold Schwarzenegger. He has it at his house.
So he actually keeps it. Okay.
He
He
got-
never puts it on.
You got, I don't know if
Oh,
he,
you know he does.
I would love to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger and ask him if he ever puts on the freeze armor. Just
You
for
know,
random
at
shits and
least
giggles.
once or twice he's done it for Halloween. You know, he's put that
I
thing
think
on.
they clearly kept the bat suit. I think when they asked Chris McDonald what he wants to keep in the movie, he asked for what's her
Thurman?
name who played Batgirl.
Oh,
Uma
Lisa
Thurman.
Silverstone.
Oh, Lisa Silverstone.
Yeah,
That
Lisa
works too.
Silverstone. Oh, wait, when did she plays Barbara.
Drew Barrymore was in that movie.
She was.
Yes.
No, that was Batman
No,
Forever.
That was Batman Forever.
Oh, was it? Oh,
she
yeah,
played
you're right.
Bad. The bad version of Two-Face's character.
Yeah,
No, she was the angel.
she was the angel.
She was the angel.
She was the angel.
That
I'm
was
like,
a bad
no.
one.
Oh, it's gonna hit me later.
Some
I'm
punk
sure.
rocker chick.
I forgot her
I-
name.
Those movies all blur to me, and I love them for their cheese, but
But I love Jim Carrey.
Yeah, no, Drew Barrymore. Yeah, Jim Carrey is great in that movie. too.
Riddler.
With the Riddler.
He had too much fun with that one too. That's another actor. I had
He
too much
broke
fun.
so many canes learning how to do the spins.
I'm not surprised.
When we do a comedy podcast, he's probably going to be the king of the comedy podcast.
Oh, he definitely will be.
So was
Good
Batman and Robin? Is this your favorite action movie of all time?
No, this is not my
Okay.
favorite. It's like we're.
Well, it's like it's one of those like comic action movies in the fact that it's just it's hilarious in the
So
fact that
comic book movies can be action movies.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to segue from a comic book movie
Yep.
to what I think is the penultimate comic book action movie,
which would be
I think it's Blade.
oh
okay.
Because it's more action than it is comic book movie.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't even know Blade was a comic book.
It's a
Oh, yeah,
Marvel,
what was that?
it's a
It's
Marvel
a-
comic.
it's
isn't
a-
it?
it's a Marvel
Marvel.
property.
I can't remember.
But
They did a lot of crossovers.
it has gunplay.
it does.
It has violence. It
It's
has
got swordplay.
swordplay.
That's
And what I was
think.
going to say, well, one of the greatest action movies, that's why I brought up 70s earlier, is the Kung Fu. Like,
Yeah.
it has martial arts in it.
It does. Like what was that Frost when he's fighting at the end? You know, he does the whole turn and he cuts him in
Yes.
half.
Yes.
He seems like, oh, he's dead. Whoop, comes right back up. This fight's still going.
And
He's still
again,
playing.
I think Blade went on a movie too long with going, or if you're thinking of it as a trilogy, I'm sure they made some dumpy ass bullshit one straight to DVD
They
or
made
something.
like
but-
three of them.
I think
But there
Blade
was
Trinity
three,
the last one.
but
Yeah.
I didn't like Blade Trinity. I think, like I said, it went one movie too long. But
Yeah.
the second Blade was freaking good.
Which
I
is the
need
one
to-
that had Ryan Reynolds in it?
That's the
It's-
third one.
was
that
and
the
it
one?
had Jessica Biel in it as well.
That's right. Yeah,
But it wasn't enough Wesley Snipes in that one.
Yeah.
I liked when he had to partner up with the vampire hunters that were made
Yeah.
to kill him to kill this new strain of vampires that's
Yeah.
like mutant. You know, its
I
mouth
remember
all
that,
open
yeah.
and the things.
I love the fact that when it comes down to Wesley Snipes as Blade, they make a reference to the whole idea of the black vampire hunter
Uh-huh.
with Jefferson Twilight in the Venture Brothers. kind of a joke to that.
Oh yeah,
Because he's the Blade of their series.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a great option on that. But when it comes to Wesley Snipes, I love him as an action movie guy.
He was pretty
it's
good.
unfortunate what happened to him later in life, and they made a joke of that in Expendables.
They
which
did, yeah.
We're about to talk about Expendables here in a bit.
Oh, I know you're ready for that one.
I'm definitely ready to explode about that. But Wesley Snipes is a great actor when it comes to action, because he also played in one of the other great action movies that to this day I always will get a kick out of and love, which is Demolition Man.
Oh,
Demolition was
Man's
good.
great. Now we're getting into some Stallone territory.
Yeah, now we're leaving Action Titan Schwarzenegger, and let's go to Action Titan Stallone, and the fact that you have Demolition Man. I like Blade. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I have not fully completed a Blade movie. I've seen
Really?
action parts.
Well, that's surprising.
I've seen action parts.
Fair enough.
And little clips, but I've never seen the full movie from beginning to end.
Well, I wasn't only bringing up Blade from the comic book standpoint
Right.
there.
Fair
So
enough.
it just happens to be on the list, but I wouldn't normally mix it in. But
I do love his sword. I like the idea that it ran off the idea of Judge Dredd that you couldn't use Blade's sword, because if you grabbed it, it had blades that would pop out and just destroy your hands.
well, Judge Dredd's another fun
Oh,
action
wait.
movie.
Most definitely. it is.
Stallone's or the?
But like I said, we're about to go into.
Ooh, the new one's way better than Stallone's. But
So-
Stallone says it's thing.
We're gonna go into.
You ever seen the new one?
Bits and pieces. I can't.
Oh,
say
dude.
I haven't. We should watch it. It's
You
great.
need to
I'll
watch
be down
that
to watch
shit.
it.
Urban does a great Judge
Shit.
Dredd.
Dude, it's like it's
If
really
you-
good.
If you
It was a weird concept for Stallone, like clones. Like,
another random
what?
bit of trivia: Judge Dredd wasn't his own comic. It was 2000 AD
Okay.
that Judge Dredd is part of.
Okay.
Really?
So he gets his own thing because he's known as the Judge. Judge Dredd is the baddest motherfucking judge around.
Don't sidetrack Demolition Man. That's
Let's
where
go.
you're
Go
at.
down.
So yeah, we're gonna go
derail.
ahead and let's get on Stallone territory. Right before I get into his whole, everybody who knows Sylvester Stallone either thinks Rocky or Rambo.
Exactly.
To me, Demolition Man.
Okay, fair enough.
Demolition was good. Yeah.
Because he gets in there and you got the whole idea of he's the baddest cop around.
Yeah.
Nothing stops him. He's got the beret.
Uh-huh.
He's rocking his 9mm Beretta. He's going in and he's trying to stop the Wesley Snipes character from just destroying everything.
He's ready for action.
He's ready to react. Yeah, you gotta do the whole like half of your lip doesn't work. Like,
You should see our faces right now.
I swear we're not having strokes. He's just ready. Adrian. I'm sorry, I had to go to that.
say that, but Stallone did have a stroke. So.
Well,
That's why he does that. But I mean, like I said, Demolition Man, great idea because y'all.
Yep. Don't actually not be a man anymore.
Because it brings up the wonderfully funny joke of the 3 seashells.
Yeah, the seashells.
Oh,
are
yeah.
wiped. Gotta wipe your ass with seashells.
No, no, why?
3 of them. So by the third one, you better clean that some gun up. That's all I can think of.
So supposedly,
How does it work?
According to the director, what the way how
According
it
to
goes
Wikipedia.
is,
Oh my
is
god,
you
fact
use
checker.
2 of the seashells to help get it out. You use the last seashell to just wipe away the accents. Supposedly.
I don't know if I'll let you. You want when we go to the beach? I'll let you test this theory. And
You want to watch me wipe my ass?
I'm not gonna watch you do. I'm just gonna give you
But if you
3.
get the wrong kind of seashell, and you're like,
That's gonna
like a
suck.
snail shell. Oh, that's a spiral. That's not gonna clean your
Like,
ass.
okay,
right.
good. Do you want like a clam shell, oyster? What do you want? Do you want a scallop shell?
I think of it as like it's the clam shells. Like it's the ones
the clam
that open
shells, yeah.
face. Like
Well, you got the scallop shells. That kind of.
And that's where you find out that
Yeah,
wonderful,
same
that's where you
thing.
find that wonderfully random moment that Sylvester Stallone and Rob Schneider are good friends because they made several movies together.
They
Yeah.
did.
They did Judge Dredd together. They
I
did.
forgot they did.
Demolition
that used to
Man.
confuse me as a kid. Like which one was which, you know? Because
Rob-
I would see Rob Schneider and Stallone in the same.
So that's Rob Schneider, right? Yeah, that's Rob Schneider and Rocky.
He doesn't know how to use the seashells. Let me hack this robot now.
What was Wesley Snipes' character's name in that?
And Demolition Man.
It was
I thought he had a cool name.
he did what
It was like an obscure name too. It's like it's like a code spy name.
I've been drinking too much.
But what was cool was Dennis Rodman. He had blonde hair, and Dennis Rodman ended up
Yeah.
dyeing his hair when he first dyed it. My memory serves me correct. Who I love Dennis Rodman in the in the '90s and whatnot. But when he was with San Antonio, he dyed his hair blonde.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did. He did.
Before he started dyeing his hair like multiple different colors and stuff.
And he got all crazy with purple.
What is it?
What's his next place? Simon Phoenix.
Simon Phoenix.
Phoenix.
What a great name! I told you it was a great
That's
name.
a code name.
Well,
It's
it's
spy
good because it
name.
plays to the idea of he's the bad guy that gets captured and goes away, and he rebirths as a bad guy later on. So they're the
Remember he goes
Phoenix.
to like
He's
the
the Phoenix.
Violence Museum, and he goes, "What's your boggle?" Remember the guy said, "What's your boggle?"
What's your
to him?
ball? Yeah.
It's so great.
Of all things to say, what's your boggle? Okay. All right. But see, like, he was pretty good. Now, I did like
Because
him.
there was no violence. Like, it
No.
was a Minority Report type society.
It was
Yeah.
supposed to be the perfect society.
And they put Dennis Leary in the sewer. Or something.
Dennis Leary was.
And he still got to like ramble off into a monologue of him just talking crazy.
It's just him talking. Like, he just wants to talk. He's
He
talking.
wants to
Sandra
talk,
Bullock,
curse, fucking
Sandra
yeah.
Bullock's like a fan of like
Yeah.
old
I
violence.
think the
or
best
something.
part is that Sandra Bullock like doesn't age. You like watch like
And Speed.
you watch Demolition Man, Speed, and then what's that movie she did with Ryan Reynolds?
The Proposal.
The Proposal?
The Proposal.
Oh.
It's like doesn't
It's a
change.
great movie, actually.
She doesn't
I ain't
change
even
between the
lying.
three
Hey, she might. It's guilty
I got a
pleasure,
chick
yeah.
flick that if I want to pull a chick flick, I'm gonna pull The Proposal.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, Betty
side-
White in it too.
It does. I mean, a little side note. I mean, a guilty pleasure movie. Sandra Bullock. I did.
By the
like
way,
her.
have you noticed that a lot of the action movies
So
start
Sandra Bullock.
Hey, she's
Round
got the-
table.
I mean, just really quick. I mean,
Podcast.
also
Have you noticed
like,
that a lot of the action movie stars are named John?
yeah.
John's a big.
John Spartan,
John Rambo.
John Matrix, John Rambo. It's just like
John McClane.
John
John
is
McClane.
John is
Wow.
the most common name in America.
Yeah.
Around the time it was, I don't know if it still is, but anyways, the fact of the whole thing is,
It's Smith now.
yeah, I guess, or his
Agent
last name
Smith.
maybe.
At
Speaking
least.
of-
But yeah, that wonderful scene where he's in the Violence Museum, and he goes to save him. He goes to go fight him, and he thinks he has nobody to stop him. He
What a fun,
Wesley
what
Snipes.
let's back up on the concept here. Wesley Snipes is frozen in prison and gets let out, and we won't spoil the movie that's been out for 30-something years or whatever. And then they unfreeze. So wait, didn't John Spartan get frozen just in case he ever got why was he
Well,
frozen?
no, because they blamed him.
Okay.
Because in the beginning of the movie, he jumps out the helicopter. He's going to go save the bus full of people
Okay.
that Wesley Snipes had caught. Wesley had already killed the entire bus, but they blew up the whole building, so they thought that John Spartan, Sylvester Stallone's character, killed all the people.
But they unfreeze the only cop that could deal with this guy.
Yeah, so
to
after-
deal with this guy.
exactly.
It's so funny to me.
Yeah,
I
so
love it.
the
It's very
fact-
circular. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
we're back at square one.
And what brings it weird is the fact that they bring out Wesley Snipes' Phoenix character because the fact is he's trying to do this coup over the entire
Right.
the
Yeah.
ownership of the area.
Yeah.
But they find out that you can't just control somebody whose mind is just
Like
kill,
in the
destroy.
yeah.
And I love that Wesley Snipes knows everything about computer hacking and everything, and all John Spartan got was like knitting or some shit. That's such a
Simple
great.
thing, just-
Well, they make a joke to the whole thing of the fact that because all he does is knit when he has issues,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that they're looking over Phoenix is he's like computer hacking, hand-to-hand combat. This is not a way to rehabilitate somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Most parts of knitting a sweater.
So,
Nice little Christmas sweater.
I know my answer to this. Who's the better action star?
That's a very loaded question.
Stallone, Schwarzenegger. Go.
Ooh.
It's
See,
a very loaded question because if you want the pure burly, just crazy action star, you go Schwarzenegger because Schwarzenegger is a huge guy.
He's Jack.
He's jacked. The
Very.
man won. He holds the Guinness World Record for most Mr. Olympia wins.
Yeah,
He is Mr. Olympia. What are you talking about?
But if you want American, you go Stallone. You go
Oh,
That's
man.
good. That's a good point. I can't argue the point.
Well, see, I don't know about that because it depends on what you want as an action star. Because for me, when I have two other action stars, I could go and toss into the mix.
There's a lot of them. You can
Oh,
throw-
there's some great ones.
Yeah.
You can throw Jason Statham in for that.
Chuck
Now
Norris.
I got three.
Chuck Norris.
Now I got four.
Oh,
See,
good.
now
I
I got
just
four.
Bruce
broke it.
Lee, bro.
Bruce Lee, the
But,
original.
Ooh, see, that for me, he's like one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee, because for me, like one of the other action stars, I kind of grew up with was Harrison Ford and Clint Eastwood. Those
yeah.
two were what I had growing up. I saw Arnold, I saw Stallone, but for me, it was always Clint Eastwood. Dirty Harry, the man with no name.
Everyone has their choices.
Oh, exactly. I mean, there's for me, there is no definitive.
But to me, I think when you think action star, because when I think of Harrison Ford, who's one of my favorite actors, I think of more of an adventure.
That's
There's
fair.
action and adventures. Like Indiana Jones is the
Yeah.
greatest adventure. It's so fun.
But you also got
Yeah.
Air Force One.
True.
Get
but-
off my plane.
I loved him in Air
Random
Force.
movie trivia.
Do tell.
Air Force One is the first time you see a flat top AR.
Wow. That's just trivia. But
I
to
was kinda hoping something
me,
more.
there's only
No, it's
to
gun nut
me.
trivia.
I mean, you can start mixing in Keanu Reeves at this point.
I
From
mean-
all the John Wicks and the Matrix.
you
The
got Kung Fu-
Matrix
you got
for crying
Kung Fu-
out
That
loud.
brings
Yeah.
me to a great next section on the whole action movie
Okay.
idea is you have the action star of the 80s,
Totally.
which was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
But I
Who
think
is-
it's the ultimate.
Who's
Mr. To me, he's always
So my
been
answer is
Olympia.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. I just want to put that out there.
Okay.
Mike says
He's
that. That's
big,
what Mike said.
He's buff, he's burly.
Yeah.
I can't, if you ever see me and you've seen the picture on the podcast, I'm not big, buff, and burly. And then you get to the 90s
Well,
action star.
you got 2 out of 3, pal.
I'm big.
Well, he's
Burly.
big and burly.
Yeah, there
Look
you
at
go.
him. He's pretty strong.
But you get to the 90s action star, which is what they were moving forward into the whole
Sure.
idea of. You have the action star who is not big and buff.
See, that's
Okay.
why I like
Die
growing
Hard,
up.
you got dad bod Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
He's not big, he's not buff. He's about, he's a cop who's lived his life.
Right. But see,
lived
he's
a rough
the
life.
80s to me.
And he is.
Yeah, he is.
And then you get to Speed and you got Keanu Reeves, who's not big and buff, but
No,
he's
but
built
he's good.
He's
I
built like a
love
cop
Speed.
should be.
Right.
He's not big and buff, but he's got that kind of
It's more
skinny
realistic.
energy.
Like, he's fit.
How about
he
the
knows-
reluctant action star? Do you know the best reluctant action star?
What's your best reluctant actor? Sorry.
Nick Cage, bro.
Oh my god.
I love the fact that every time I see Nick Cage, the first thing I think of is Nick Cage is not acting. He is Nick Cage reacting to a movie as he's going through.
Yeah.
He really is. I mean, look at Raising Arizona, Face Off.
He would bring up
Face Off,
I love Raising
Cameron
Arizona.
Poe from Con Air. Come on, bro.
Dude, Cameron Poe and Con Air was
Are
one
you
of my
kidding me?
personal favorites of his
But
role.
the all-time favorite action movie Nick Cage is in is The Rock, bro.
oh,
Good Speed.
oh my god.
Stanley Goodspeed.
Good Speed.
Like, so what happened to the body? He just vaporized. Like, yeah, like just vapor.
Were you not scared of VX-22 gas
yeah.
rockets, dude?
And the little glass
They
ball.
They melted the piss out of you.
Like, whoa, it was like, he's like,
And then
about
you
to
got
die.
the-
And Ed Harris was awesome in that movie. And
Yeah, that's right. He plays the crazy
Bokeem
guy.
Woodbine was in that.
Yeah,
And,
they
And then
played
you
the
got
military.
and then you got the
God.
Man of the Hour.
Oh,
One of my favorite
man.
James Bonds.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's the best.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Mr. Sean Connery himself.
Sean Connery.
I loved him as the dad in Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, Junior.
Junior.
Yeah, it's,
If I like him playing,
Lead
if
from
I
the Lion
if I like
Style.
Sean Connery acting, if I like Sean Connery acting old, I love him in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
oh,
Yeah.
it just makes
Oh,
sense.
Alan Quartermain.
Yeah, yeah.
I
that's a
love the
good
fact that
one.
he's just like where the guy's just running out of the veterans house.
Mm-hmm.
He's running. And he goes like, he's like 100 yards away. You're not gonna be able to hit him. And he's like, I knew you would be. I was like, I hate growing old. And he puts his glasses on, brings out that double rifle, and pegs that dude running down the savannah.
It just makes me sad that was his last movie when
Well,
he retired.
because that whole movie it soured the last of his acting career.
Yeah, I mean, to me it makes sense. I mean, I kind of wish he maybe I was kind of hoping he would have done at least maybe one more Bond as a reference, like kind of makes an appearance. Not as Bond himself, but an homage.
So
or
is
something.
James Bond? That's an action movie, right?
I would
It is.
classify it. I mean, there's
Who's your favorite James Bond?
Ooh.
Well, I mean, when it comes down to favorite James Bond, it's always going to be Sean Connery. I do like Roger Moore. He does a good one.
Roger Moore was good.
Yeah, he does a really because when I was kind of growing up, you kind of got into you had the Roger Moore, you got the Sean Connery, and it was just like
See, for
when I was
me-
growing up, my dad was like, if you're going to enjoy James Bond, check out the Sean Connery ones.
You have to watch that one first.
Those are great. And he's
Yeah.
my favorite all-time James Bond. But I do love Daniel Craig and I do love Pierce Brosnan. Because
See-
that was the James Bond when I was growing up.
So here's the worst part.
Well, Pierce Brosnan, you got GoldenEye, which
Oh.
gave us the great N64
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Never Forget game. Great
See-
game.
For me, my favorite, he's very obscure. Only did one or two.
Timothy Dalton.
Mr. Timothy Dalton.
Yeah.
I knew it. Timothy.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know
You
what it
and my
was.
old boss I used to work with at Sprint
Yeah.
love Timothy Dalton as
like,
James Bond.
like to me, I don't
Which,
know what it
by the
was.
way, random trivia, Timothy Dalton is one of the few James Bonds next to Daniel Craig who did all his own stunts.
That's
See,
awesome.
I did not know that. But
Yeah.
for me, I just loved him. Like the way he kind of portrayed him, his charisma.
Oh,
was
you remind me of another modern one.
ooh, because Daniel Craig also another good one. But for me, Timothy Dalton will always be my favorite Bond out of all of them. You can't
like it.
change my mind. It's just very short lived. I
Roger,
wish
I'm going
he
to
did
name your
more.
first child Pussy Galore.
I
That's
mean,
funny. I
That's a
want to
nice name,
say
by the
that's
way.
a joke in the new Peacemaker.
It is.
show.
It
It
Yeah.
was.
It's Octopussy now.
Oh, it is Octopussy. You're right.
This is another good movie, another good Bond
So
movie.
someone else does their own stunts. Didn't Tom Cruise do his own stunts in the Mission Impossible movies?
Well,
Partially. In the first one,
No, he
he
does
like
quite
blew
a
his
few.
hip out in one of them.
he blew his ankle out in one of the last ones. Jumping
Yeah.
a building.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Well, and then, that brings us to the next one, the idea of the new age action star. You got Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
First of all, Tom Cruise as a person, Tom Cruise as an actor, I enjoy
Oh,
him.
I love his
I do
movies.
too.
Like, his movies are great. Would I hang on with a person?
Ethan Hunt.
I don't know, man.
Mission Impossible.
It's good stuff.
Great option up there.
But another good guy that does all his own stunts is, he's not from the States, Mr. Jackie Chan.
Yes,
Chan.
the original do all my own
He
stunts.
has-
And Kung Fu.
He had the
I
original.
love that. I love the martial arts.
Mr. Jackie Chan has a
So
record.
moving into our next portion, I guess
Yeah.
you could say would be the not just action movie, but you got the subgenres, which is kung fu action movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Jackie
You
Chan
got
has
the
a world
chop soccer
record.
kind of going on there, and Jackie Chan, great guy. I mean, be it Drunken Master,
Drunken Fist.
Who Am I,
Was it was Operation Condor?
Operation Condor.
And he's got the world record of doing his own stunts.
He's uninsurable.
Yeah, that's right. He is
He has his
uninsurable.
own insurance line set up. In fact, if you're ever a director, you want to work with Jackie Chan, you gotta do Jackie Chan's special insurance because
Wow.
nobody insures Jackie Chan.
I mean, you've seen what this guy go through. I mean, look at the Rush Hour movies he
I was
did.
about to say the Rush Hour movies. Yeah.
Or you can the Police Story movies. That's probably one of the
Oh, yeah.
craziest stunts. He slides down a pole covered in lights, burns his hands.
But I mean, the first Rush Hour, LA Convention Center, which I have been into personally.
Oh, yeah,
and
you
that,
really-
that is not a short drop. It's
No.
when I went to LA the first time, I saw hey, this is Rush Hour. Oh, that is really high up from where Jackie fell.
And personally, I have an issue with heights. And just looking at that, I'm like,
Terribly.
no.
I hate heights. For me, I hate flying. That's why I keep the window shut when I take off. But in the air, we're fine.
He starts
But-
drinking.
right off the bat, I'm one of those guys. But when I saw it in the LA Convention Center, just right at the top, one of the spots where, the flag was, he jumps, that's a really big flag because when I saw the ladder in the convention center right up there, oh, that's
Yeah.
not just a hop and a skip. You really have to go out of your way. You have to do a lot to get up to that small corner
Oh, yeah.
in that rooftop. Oh my God, my hands are getting clammy just thinking about it. I don't want to be here anymore.
Sketchy, bro.
So I
Oh,
just, I'm just looking down at the floor, look straight ahead, look at the condors. We're just not gonna think too hard on it. But man, my boy Jackie, I'm gonna salute you, good son. Whew.
So we talked about
Kung
Kung
Fu
Fu
stuff.
movie is like the original kind of action movie.
Yeah.
They're
Oh, yeah.
very popular in the 70s and into the 80s.
Mhm.
And we got into more like ninjas in the 80s. If for
Oh,
some
yeah.
reason it went from Kung Fu to just 80s was ninja'd up like a son of a gun.
definitely.
I mean, you got the Chinese and Japanese, they all became shinobis and ninjas.
But
I mean,
let's talk a little bit more about the Kung Fu artists, but on this side of the pond here.
Yep.
Let's talk about Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh.
We haven't mentioned him.
we
We
haven't.
haven't mentioned Steven Seagal, who has
Oh,
a great action movie.
Steven
And we
Seagal.
haven't mentioned Chuck Norris.
Dude, Chuck Norris is on top
I have a
five.
friend of mine who despises Steven Seagal.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
I love Chuck Norris. He's a guilty pleasure. I don't care.
Chuck-
I
I'm
think
not
he's
talking-
funny.
He's talking about Steven Seagal.
It's not Steven Seagal.
Steven, he's hilarious.
I
I
have a
think
friend
he's
of mine.
funny.
Who does the karate kung fu stuff out there and despises him.
So,
But the man is weird because the whole idea was the reason he got his career started was a bet.
okay,
Really?
What somebody said was like, they looked at this guy and was like, I can make a career off this guy. I can take this random dude from New York and we can make a career out of here. Next thing you know, Steven Seagal's.
There was a moment like Marked for Death, Hard to Kill. Those were great. Those
Oh,
were
yeah.
so fun.
Under Siege was
Okay,
another
Under
one.
Siege.
I don't remember Under Siege. I know I remember the movie, but
Yeah.
I don't remember watching the movie. But Hard to Kill, when he goes into like a coma and comes out of it and has to work really hard to like get his body
Group,
back.
yeah.
And then Marked for Death's the one where like the Jamaican drug lords have him hunting him down, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think
Which
it
I
was.
always confuse in my head with like Predator 2. Because they're
the
the
scenery?
same. Like, was everybody a Jamaican drug lord at this time?
At the
Apparently,
time it was, yes.
Oh my God. But dude, Steven Seagal, like he's one of my guilty pleasure action stars.
I think so too.
Because I mean,
And
he can't fight in real life. He just does movie fighting.
Are you kidding me? That man in real life, when it comes to anything,
But
is
he
hilarious.
didn't. But it wasn't really like he was fighting. He was just catching whatever they were throwing and snapping you up, like cracking your limb.
Oh, yeah.
Crack! Ah! Crack! Ah!
It's like-
Another one. Broke his arm. Broke his leg. Broke his ribs.
He
broke
just
his
grabbed
neck.
stuff. He
And
just
then-
grabbed everything.
He always talks like this.
Yeah, he has his eyes closed. Like he's hard of seeing or something.
It's like, what do
He's
you
very
mean?
Mr. Magooing it up a little bit, you know.
It's like, I'm his nephew. Like, I'm Mr. Magoo's nephew.
Yeah.
But I can still see.
And then you got Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, God. Mr.
Our
T.
target.
Bloodsport, bro.
Bloodsport is probably the one, which is weird because it has that really weird kind of weird background. Because we don't know if what's his name is lying or not about the whole, you know.
Yeah, oh, that's
Well,
right.
I
Yeah.
love that it's like almost an inspiration for like Mortal Kombat.
It is
that,
an inspiration for Mortal Kombat.
That and what's the Bruce Lee one I'm thinking of? Is it Enter the Dragon?
There's
Enter
Enter
the
Dragon.
Yeah.
There's Enter.
But it's
and
this
Return of the
underground
Dragon.
fighting tournament,
Yeah.
the Kumite.
The Kumite.
It's
Yeah.
so great.
Oh, my
It's
God.
funny because, you know, Bloodsport is supposedly about the life of what's his name that kind of does the whole behind the scenes out there. But everybody's kind of like, no, this guy's fucking with us. No, he's just messing with
But
us.
it kind of makes you wonder, though. But for me, like my favorite role for him is you'll be surprised. Guilty pleasure. I don't care what anyone says. When he was Colonel William Franklin Guy on Street Fighter with the great Raul Julia.
God.
He plays an American.
I'm a video game addict, and this is terrible.
It was.
Are you kidding me? When it comes down to bad video game movies, I can watch Street Fighter all day.
Well, listen.
It was.
I've been hunting for the board set for Street Fighter the movie, the game. Did you know this exists?
Yes.
Yes,
In
I've
fact,
seen the gameplay.
There's two versions of it because the one that went to home console does not have T-Hawk.
It does
Because
not.
the actor for T-Hawk only stayed around long enough to do the arcade version.
Oh, okay.
But
And
after,
he left.
after he did that, they cut his check. He took his check and disappeared. Nobody knows who he went to.
I'm not gonna lie. I tried googling him. Like I found
Right.
his name, but when you try to like find him, his act, just him being him, it's like he's a ghost. I cannot find him at all.
He did that and disappeared.
He really did disappear.
Boogie Woogie Funk went on out of Hollywood after that.
Maybe he went to witness protection. Maybe he changed his name. I don't know because I cannot find a single thing about this dude anymore until before the movie. That was it.
But it was hilarious the fact that you take Street Fighter the movie, which is based on a game, then you make a fighting game based on the movie based on the game.
Which
So-
is insane.
A little trivia about the movie game. They introduced a character that was never featured in the movie, which you're not surprised. They put Akuma.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
they
they did. They pulled some random guy to be a
pulled a random
Kuma.
dude to
There's
act as
also like a guard or something that was in the
Yeah.
movie that wasn't
Yeah.
in the game.
Yeah,
so
he's
it's
kinda
crossing
one of the-
both directions. It's
one of the
crazy.
mini games that there's like, okay, you beat this guy and you go next level.
You know what always will get me though is the reason that Raul Julia did Street Fighter was because his kids love Street Fighter.
They
There
did.
you go.
And he did it for them. Even though he was unfortunately dying of cancer, he was like, I'm going to do it for them.
That's awesome.
And you could always bring a smile to Raul Julia's face. If you walked up and you go, Gomez Adams. And he would go Gomez Adams no matter what.
I
He would always
love-
go Gomez Adams.
Yeah.
Side
That's
note,
cool.
he is my favorite Gomez Adams out of the entire
yeah.
Adams family.
That's great.
The new ones, man, they will never be Raul. But yeah, anyway,
Well,
side
good is
sidetrack.
you go in because, like I said, handsome, hilarious,
Very.
great guy.
But Jean-Claude Van Damme as an action star, he is very. Like, I feel like he really gets into it. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
I
what is
love
it?
like Eagle Raptor did that
Yeah.
the animation. It's like go up the river
and kick the bison so hard.
so hard.
So like in the cartoon, so when he does that speech, he just, it kind of screeches in my ears. And in the cartoon, he like, hey, she gets into the mic and screeches like bust. I'm like, so hard, like, oh, ow, like he just makes a joke, ow, ow.
The next bite
It's going to feel it.
It's going to feel it.
But
So let's talk about another subgenre of action.
Yeah.
Come on. Sci-fi action.
ooh,
So
You know, speaking
we mentioned RoboCop.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to toss three with a honorary fourth out here.
right.
Terminator.
Great
Such
one
a
movie.
Terminator 2 is in the series there.
The
Those
Judgment.
two.
Oh, Judgment. I love Judgment. Day.
Fantastic movies.
I love Judgment. Day.
Aliens.
Aliens.
Ooh,
With
most
Sigourney
definitely.
Weaver
Oh,
giving
we
us
were on that one
the
last
female
time.
action star.
No action here, yeah.
Remember the Helen special?
Predator.
Ooh, I love Predator.
And I like 1 and 2.
Predator,
You
yeah.
get actually Roger Murtaugh goes to
Yeah.
LA
Yeah.
and fights a predator, which is totally weird and different.
he is too old for that
And
shit.
Mr. Joshua's back in it.
Yes.
His little what do you call that weapon he used against the predator just to fight him in his spaceship?
Yeah,
What
it's
is that?
like it was
The
the
weird
predator's.
hand
It was like his boomerang, but it didn't come back. kind
Yeah,
of
it's
thing.
Weird
like a
hand blade,
circle.
yeah.
I call it like a giant. It's like a
But
flat
the first one
protractor.
is, let's be honest, the first Predator.
Are you kidding me? That gives you the action movie one-liner of "Get to the chopper."
Get to the chopper. And how about not the governor, but the governor of Minnesota is in it.
Oh.
Two governors, two future
Two
governors.
governors.
Because you have Jesse the Body Ventura and his line,
yeah.
I haven't got time to bleed.
Hey man, you're bleeding.
Shane Black, you got time to move? Because he blows it up with
Yeah, it's
the
actually
grenade
a grenade
launcher.
launcher. Yep.
Dude, one of my favorite lines from Predator with Arnold is he looks at him, you are one
Ugly motherfucker. Yeah,
I
that's
was like, he
great.
just stared like, I just love
I love that
that
movie. And that's another, in my
Yeah.
eyes, another perfect movie. I mean, from start to finish.
Yeah.
Carl
Definitely.
Weathers is great in that movie.
I work with a guy named Dylan. First
Yeah.
of all,
You
and every time I
Dylan,
see
you son of a bitch!
My buddy does that constantly.
If I'm at the gun bar, I can't leave the gun bar. So if I see him in a peril, which is at least 20 yards away from me, Dylan, you son of a bitch.
I love it.
That's what Austin does every now and then. I see him like, hey Austin, just on the way, like, you son of a bitch, and we both just kind of both clap like, oh.
One of the guys I used to work with, his name is Jim. Hilarious guy. I hope I can get him in on a music podcast.
We should text him one day.
But one of the times that I got into work, I knew he liked action movies. So when I walked in, I go, Jim, you son of a bitch. And we walked across the gun bar and we just...
Absolutely.
just the flex, the hard flex.
The flex is so great.
Like,
It's
that's
the
what
joining,
caused-
you know? It's
We're
so
not
good.
doing this, Nate, just so you know.
What's wrong?
I
You
can't-
pushing too many pencils?
Yeah.
So good.
I ain't breaking a sweat.
Oh, I loved it. It was
But
just...
yeah, that was
It's a good movie.
It
Great
really is.
special effects. Set in the jungle. It has a very,
Oh,
you know,
by the way,
a
random-
countdown feel. Like you got to get out of it.
Random movie
Before he
trivia.
explodes.
Jean-Claude Van Damme was almost the Predator.
He was almost a predator.
I could honestly see that. I could see
But
him as
when
Predator.
he found out that
terrible Predator suit. It's an
his
ugly-ass
face
Predator then.
his face wouldn't be seen, he said no.
I'm out. I'm
Well,
out.
of course
to do it.
he's a handsome lad. You've seen how he is.
So what about Aliens?
Ooh.
So when it comes down to, when you get to like Alien 3 and all that there, I mean, great movie. And that's where you get that wonderful idea of the action female.
She did such a good job
She's so
as
good.
Ripley.
Sigourney Weaver did great in that movie, honestly.
Dude, one of the best roles she'll ever do is Ripley.
And I remember it was a lot of people were just like, you see Sigourney Weaver and you kind of thought of her as the regular chick, but then you have that wonderful scene where she hides and she's just wearing like the tank top and panties.
Ooh.
I know some people were just like, when they saw it, it was like, Sigourney Weaver in that scene was just peak.
Yeah. Well, the first movie, Alien, was more of like a haunted house movie, a horror movie in space.
Yeah.
But the second one was full on badass Marines. They're going into LV 426 or whatever
Yep.
the hell it is.
That robo suit, just a mix.
yeah, she had it's so much great action in that movie. You know, the
I'll tell you one thing.
power loader or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, I like to keep this for Close Encounters.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
That
it.
reference, that was a good one.
And Hudson's another Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
He's like, game over, man.
It's game over!
I love
it
that
when he
shit.
gets his hand on the table for the knife trick. and
Yes.
he just
Bishop, come on. That's so good.
One thing I loved about that line was like it just you hear that line, it's game over, man, in all movies.
Oh, it
But
works,
that
yeah.
line was just everyone says that line now. Game
about
over,
the-
man.
You
How
know
about
that knife trick I can do, Roger. Let me see your hand.
No, I'm good. I don't have health insurance until a couple months.
I don't have health insurance.
How about the two badasses with those big fucking guns that were attached to the backpack?
Oh,
Oh
the
my-
smart guns.
Those were the
Yeah,
best.
cool. Let's rock.
I love the
Great
fact that they
guns.
had one of them be, what's her name? I forgot her name right now, but she did great in that as well. And she went out like a boss because,
Yeah,
she's
she
sitting
did.
there, and they're sitting there with the grenade
Eric
just...
Foreman went down with the grenade.
Hey man, she can go down. She go down swinging. Like, I'm taking you. I'll see you in hell. She's just ready to go.
It's so good. I loved all their names. You know,
Yep.
it was just good. It was really, really good. Paul Reiser's like the antagonist in this.
Oh my god, he's like just
Wow.
instigates everything. Like, would you
Get
shut up for
away
5
from
minutes?
her, you bitch.
Yeah, oh, totally. Newt was great.
Dude.
Man,
They come at night, mostly, or whatever.
mean, I guess I think
Mostly they come at night.
another
It was
good-
funny because in the original Call of
Yeah.
Duty, the first Modern Warfare, they make a
Right.
reference to the shotgun scene.
Yeah.
Because right before they breach the door to get him down there, pull the shotgun. He goes, "Oh, like the cave this close encounter to your right, mate." Click.
That's awesome.
And then it was one.
Yep.
And then if you want to go into the anime section, there's a whole episode of Cowboy Bebop, Toys in the Attic,
Yeah.
which is in fact, they use the sonar scanner sound from Aliens for the sonar scanner in
Yeah,
Cowboy
I remember
Bebop.
that episode because like there's something in the fridge.
Which they didn't make a reference to in the live action, which makes me angry. Literally,
So-
get that whole live action made me angry.
I mean-
You've already heard me yell about that enough.
A little side note, it's like there's something in the fridge of the spaceship that just they forgot about it. It was something. It was food or
was
whatever.
lobster.
It was lobster.
It was a space
And,
lobster.
It
It grew a smart fungus.
It became
and
moldy.
they had to track it. And Spike ends up having to hit it with the flamethrower that they're using to cook the food with earlier.
Yeah, it became kind of a thing reference,
But,
and somebody ate it in the end.
And
Ed ate it.
Ed ate it because she's fucking weird.
Yeah.
But Aliens is great with the fact that you have that wonderful idea from the movie poster. In space, nobody can hear you scream.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and you got the void.
So this one, so Aliens brings me to my final subject. I got about 10 minutes left before I have to go and
Fair enough,
help out there. But my subject I wanted to get to was action movie cliches. And one of the action movie cliches.
Yeah, because I saw you looking at action movie bingo, which I've actually
Right.
seen action movie
And I'm
bingo.
going to tell you why. Because Commando being my favorite action movie,
Right.
it played at an Alamo Draft House a few years back. And
Yeah.
when I still worked for Audi. And I gathered everybody up there. I made a flyer for it with like bullets for a border and everything.
Oh,
and
wow.
modeled on it, a black and white badass, like concert looking flyer
Yeah.
to go see Commando. And we got a group of people to go see Commando. And I printed off action movie bingo cards and passed them out to everybody that was in the theater that
What was
night.
the free space?
Oh, God.
Do you remember?
Hold on, I'll tell you the free space. But anyway, the great thing about the action movie bingo, and you could really bingo off Commando
Oh,
because
most
it hits
definitely.
It's
all
not
the...
hard.
This was one that you can do drinking games too.
Oh,
You really
totally.
could like take a shot every time he does this.
Every
or,
time
you
there's a
know,
one-liner, every time that nobody reloads during a huge
Yeah,
shootout.
you take
It just
drink.
says action movie cliche bingo free space. It doesn't
Okay.
Yeah,
have...
I mean, that's like just free space that you can take that.
But one of the action movie bingos is it gets down to one versus many, right?
Yeah, exactly,
This
yeah.
happens in Commando easily. Like
Oh,
the
definitely.
most. Ripley and Aliens.
yeah.
RoboCop. Now he does have his partner. God, I can't remember her name anymore.
We know we can see
It's
her
there.
face.
I can see her face. Anyway, he does have her with him.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's him against the
I
world.
mean, look at the Matrix. You know,
The
with
Matrix,
Smith,
it's
you know.
Neo. He's the one.
Yeah.
Literally, it's him against the world.
Exactly.
Die Hard's a great example.
That was a really good one.
Of Roy Rogers, you know.
Yes.
I was thinking of a great one-liner.
Oh my god, that's like a memorable one.
Yeah. So, who do you think did the lone by himself the best?
Ooh.
Rambo was
The
always.
first Rambo.
Oh yes, he took on, but he's taking on a town of cops. I really think.
Especially Mr. Sunshine on my goddamn shoulders.
Oh yeah.
I have a. It's really. I think Die Hard is the most entertaining
one.
of one
Most
against everybody, and he's got to take out all the terrorists.
For me, it's look. I'm gonna have to go old school.
Do you really think you can take us all on, cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker! So good.
Like for me, it's
Roy Rogers.
Hey, right?
Roy Rogers.
Like for me, it's kind of like the old speaking of cliches. I'm really big into kung fu, so like it's either I'm gonna go with Bruce Lee on this
Bruce
one.
Lee's great.
Bruce Lee
And
does-
Those are
Bruce
all
Lee-
great.
Chinese Connection. He has that wonderful scene where he
The
makes the
dojo.
run out the end and he does the jump freeze frame.
Yes.
Yep. Because for me, like Chinese Connections, Fist of Fury in the dojos, he's just
yeah.
just going ham. The nunchucks, like this
Oh, that
is-
whole nunchuck scene. Oh God, yes.
Yeah, you know the nunchucks. So I'm like, for me, because like me being, I'm a little guy compared to Nate and Jared. So I'm like, do you see the small dude just going ham on everybody?
Mm-hmm.
I want to relate to that. I'm not as fancy as that dude is, but you know what? It just for me, it goes to show you, little dude can always fuck shit up no matter
Push
what.
too many pencils, Roger.
Who?
Shut up.
Who walked away from an explosion the best?
Ooh.
Are we talking about the cool guys don't look at explosions?
Yeah,
kind of idea?
totally. Because that's totally an action movie cliche.
It's a wonderful action movie.
It's
Tim.
great.
You gotta have that, that's a thing. Ooh, that's gonna be a tough one, because I have a lot of
good one. Who does have a good one?
Well, I mean,
Let me see if I can pull one that we haven't talked about. Who does a good one?
I got one that we haven't talked about.
I mean,
Which
for
one?
me, I would say
When,
Daniel Craig.
when Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek walk away from an explosion, they look pretty hot.
That's fair, yeah.
I love the fact that Robert Rodriguez does the mariachi movies
Yes.
on a budget of a shoestring.
Yeah.
He made those movies for the price of a bag of chips and a ham sandwich.
He
So
really
great.
did. I'm like, this dude.
If I ever could make a movie, I wish he could show me how to make a movie, because he knows how to make a movie without breaking your bank.
Yeah. I think for me.
So do y'all have one?
Well, so if you want to go
So
first?
I would say, and it's probably going to be kind of that thing of it's a remake. Jason Statham is the mechanic. It does the scene where he does the
Transporter? Oh no, the mechanic.
mechanic. Yeah, he does the remake of the
Transporter's
mechanic.
good too.
That's another good one.
And it's the explosion. He's walking away from one of his jobs while everything exploded. He just did the make sure nobody saw him as he's walking away.
How about you, bud?
So for me, it's I mean, it's not really an action movie per se. It was more like, I guess, would you call it action horror? So it's the scene from Dusk Till Dawn. You got you got George Clooney and Tarantino. Like, they just left the diner. But for me, it's not so much he's not looking.
Everything's exploding and on fire. I love it.
He's like they just blew up a diner, and you see George Clooney just talking to his brother. Look, I'm getting real tired of this kind of shenanigans. Or like, he just conversation, just normal everyday Sunday conversations. Talking to Tarantino, and they get in the car, and he's just exploding like nothing. It's just a typical
Speaking
Tuesday.
of From Dusk Till Dawn, that probably has one of my favorite lines in it for movies. Where he's like, at the end where they're walking out that there. What was it, Psychos? He's like, Psychos. Exploding in the sun.
That's a good.
I don't care how crazy you are. You don't explode when the sun hits you. That's a great
yeah, he did. Yeah, that's what made me
I don't
laugh.
care how fucking crazy you are.
Salma Hayek was hot in that too, by the way.
Oh my
Salma
god.
Hayek just amazing. So, kind of going back to one of my old school crushes.
Ooh, with Selma Hayek.
My dad introduced me to Fools Rush In.
Oh my god.
And what's hilarious is,
with the
and
Matthew Perry.
you're about to learn something about me, is in that movie, her last name is Fuentes.
Oh.
My last name is Fuentes.
There you
So,
go.
and
Well, now the internet knows your identity.
Yeah,
You'll never
exactly.
be safe
What do you
again.
do?
You relate to Fools Rush In.
Oh no, there's a Mexican last name out there. There's not going to be 400 million of me out there.
Wait, you're Mexican?
Who
I thought you were
would've thought?
Chinese.
I never would have guessed.
But the scene where she's kind of floating down the river on the inner tube and Fools Rush In.
Ooh,
Hey,
man.
there's the boys watching her.
They're just hardcore staring.
And
That's
then,
pretty.
and the brother goes, "My little brother loves you," and she tells him, "Well, by the time you're 18, I'm gonna be 40." And he's like, and he runs off. I was like, I'd have waited. I'd have waited.
I'll wait. Can I take a card? Can I take a number?
When you see her like in Hitman's Bodyguard, Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard,
Or The
she's still
Eternals.
gorgeous in those
She
movies.
still looks just as good as she
pretty.
did.
Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. It's hilarious because they play with her sexuality a bit,
Yeah.
just how gorgeous he is. And the fact is, like, this is like the moment when you pushed me, you grabbed my bosoms and pushed me away. I knew you loved me. I was like, you just pushed me away, but
I just love
Yeah.
her.
The bosoms part.
like you
accent-
just grabbed her chest, just Brian Reynolds pushes her away.
I just love her accent. She's like, "You grab my bosom." It's like, okay, all right.
So
I would too.
I'm gonna name off some fun action movie cliches.
Go ahead.
Bad guy's got to be foreign.
Always.
Right? He's got to be German or Eastern
Die
Bloc
Hard,
or
Commando.
or they got to be Jamaican. The
Some
whole
form-
gang's made up of minorities
I
of
feel like
some
it's like-
sort.
You thought it was gonna be European.
Yeah, European is the scary one.
They make it
Because
seem
they're
like
the
big one.
intellectual one, right?
Always. They're so
like,
smart.
You
like,
know,
okay,
got your
whatever.
Hans Gruber. Speaking
Simon
of bad,
Says.
yeah, absolutely.
Which is hilarious, the fact that, you have when you look at Die Hard 3, and you watch The Incredibles, I know, weird kind of jump, but in The Incredibles, they make the Die Hard reference, and I caught it when I saw it,
They did.
where Frozone's reaching for the water, he's like, I just want to drink water, but then you watch Die Hard 3, and he's like, I got to answer this phone. Don't move!
I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, they did that. I remember
That's great because you go intellectual, your bad guys are going to be European, or you got your drug lords and there's some kind of Latin country.
Like-
be it Bad Boys 3 where you have fucking what's his name,
Like
the Jesus
Johnny
looking guy.
Tapia?
Yeah, Johnny Tapia, or you have all the Commando where you have the general.
You got Jamaican, South American for the drug dealers.
Yeah, oh yeah, and yeah, the Jamaican. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like Mark from Death and
Yeah.
the Predator and stuff
Yep.
like that. Yeah, because they're just too cutthroat. Like they're gonna give you, they're
To be fair, cartels are fucking terrifying.
Yeah, totally. Oh, I
No
get
key
it.
without second thought.
So speaking of the bad guy, he's always going to explain the plan to you at some
Always,
point.
they always
I
do
think
that.
that's just a bad guy trope in general. Be it
Yeah.
James Bond probably plays it out the
Yes,
marathon because he's
yeah.
always going to give you he's sitting and he's like, "Oh, Mr. Bond."
Yeah,
You expect
give
me
you
to
the
talk?
whole bad guy plan.
You expect
How
me to
about
talk.
I expect you to die.
collateral damage is great, and there's always like for some reason a fruit cart that gets hit, and the fruit
Explosions.
goes everywhere.
Yeah, produce
They do
cart.
that in Expendables as well. I mean,
Yeah,
the whole
they
scene
do
where they're
fruit,
doing
I want to
that.
say in The
vegetables.
Rock when Sean Connery's character gets away and Stanley Goodspeed goes after him, they blow up. Michael Bay blows up so many fruit carts. There's a
I love
trolley.
it.
It's like a mix.
Every
like
time I
you
watch
got cabbages,
every time I watch The
fruits,
Rock,
oranges.
the thing that always gets me is the fact that niggas get pays a guy named Goodspeed, the ultimate good guy named
Right,
Goodspeed.
yeah.
Yeah,
and
we got that works out for
and
him.
the other one's Mason, right? That's Sean Connery's character.
Yes, Mason. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why they call him Mason in Black Ops, is because
Oh.
they're referencing that. By the way,
What's he
Random
based on? Like a
trivia.
Freemason?
If
No, I
it's
think it's his name.
if it's a cop movie, he at some point is about to get suspended and has to turn over his gun and his badge.
Oh yeah,
And always a hard-boiled detective.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Always gonna be a hard-boiled detective.
he never
Yeah.
plays by the rules.
No,
Yeah.
he's not going to play by the rules. That's for sure.
He's a damn fine cop. He doesn't.
Which always makes me laugh because when you look at the ultimate tropes,
Yeah.
if you want a movie full of action movie tropes, watch Last Action Hero.
Oh yeah. Well, I think they're like playing that up,
Which is
right?
the whole joke
Yeah,
of it,
yeah.
is that everything about that thing, because you see, you see all the random people, walking out
Yeah.
there. You see the T-1000 walking out there, for fuck's sake.
Right.
I mean, another good one for that one is Chow Yun Fat.
Oh, yeah, no,
Oh,
Chow
yeah,
Yun-
Chow Yun Fat.
yeah,
Great
playing
one. That's a good
Detective
one.
Tequila.
Yeah, so there's no, you know this one. Literally, he did a movie about a hard-boiled detective, which is called Hard-Boiled. He's a hard-boiled detective. I was like, it's literally the whole trope.
Always chewing on the toothpick, running, flying through the air, dueling Brennis.
And then he's got the female detective that he's trying to like talk to again because they had a thing, they had a fling one night, but he actually likes her. She doesn't know what to do. I want it back though. you
So
know?
my 1 minute wrap up here.
we should try to get your all-time favorite as well.
I think it's Commando. That's why I kind
Commando?
of agree
Okay,
with him.
okay, fair enough.
So my 1 minute wrap up here, things I want to mention. I think we would be wrong not to mention Michael Bay's all his movies exploding.
Oh, yeah.
So many
which we did.
explosions.
I want to go to one more Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Total Recall.
Total Recall.
It's a great
That's such a
action
good-
movie and really an interesting story altogether.
Very
Filmed in
good.
Mexico, by the way.
Is it?
Filmed in
Mars
Mexico.
is Mexico. Who knew?
Apparently. I used to go there all the time when I was a kid, so I've been to Mars, so many times.
On the
Get your ass to Mars.
Mexico.
On the sci-fi one, and also another Paul Verhoeven movie, Starship Troopers.
Oh my god.
I
The
love
movie
that. It's
that-
very RoboCop-ish, obviously.
It really
It's
is.
the same
Yeah.
guy,
Every time
they-
I think
Even
of
like
Starship,
the
the first thing I think of
uniforms.
is the fact that I was still a growing up young man at the time.
Sure.
I was like, rather young. You
Right,
barely get
sure.
double digits. And next thing you know, it's just like, there are boobs in this movie.
There's always
shower
Paul
scene.
Verhoeven. It's another shower scene. Paul Verhoeven just puts
Yeah.
hit it up.
The
Co-ed
co-ed shower.
scene.
Yeah, you know,
That's
it's
funny.
like-
So when they were doing the random trivia again, I'm full of it. I love reading IMDb. If you
Is it
can't
gun
tell.
or is it actual trivia?
It's extra trivia.
Oh,
For the
okay.
shower scene with Starship Troopers to make everybody comfortable,
Yeah.
Paul Verhoeven's naked directing that scene.
I think that would make me less comfortable.
Uh,
I'm naked too. Let's go. Shoot. And it's like,
I
why
don't
do you have
know.
your hand on the other camera?
It's like,
So
why is that one over there? Why is the camera
so the
filming?
actress that plays Dizzy,
Yeah.
I love
and
her.
the actress that plays Johnny Rico,
I mean,
they're still
she's
good
kinda-
friends, by the way.
Yeah.
I
I had a kind of crush on her too. When
She's
I saw
cute.
her.
Yeah.
It's
She's super cute,
She's
alright.
that sporty, kind of like, woo,
I liked
okay.
her better than Denise Richards. I thought he had it.
no,
I thought
she
he had
was
it.
adorable in that movie, but then
I
yeah,
thought-
things I was adorable.
I
Yeah.
thought he was steering down the wrong ship on
Oh,
that
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
He wasted a lot of time messing around with.
I agree.
Denise Richards'
I'm with you on that
character.
one. I'm with you on that one, Mike.
Yeah, but as Dizzy, they still do, every now and then, they do conventions together for Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Really?
And if you ever go to their panels,
Yeah.
and sometime, every panel, someone's going to go, who's Roughnecks? Rico's Roughnecks!
Rico's rough.
Everybody always does it.
Wow.
So, on a fun side note, action-related, Denise Richards. How about the end of the James Bond movie she's in, and her name's like something Christmas, and his one-liner's like, Christmas only comes once a year.
Yes.
I forgot about that scene.
It's so
Oh
good.
my
I
god.
love it because they make fun of it in Robot Chicken. He's
They
like,
did.
I guess it's going to be a white Christmas.
Yeah.
That was.
Are you kidding me? I'm not on birth control.
So,
fucking disgusting.
other wrap-ups. So I think we got all that. I got Starship Trooper. The Matrix trilogy, I think, is one of the greatest action movies.
So when you start getting into the new age action movie of the current generation, most
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh, definitely. I grew up with the Matrix.
I will say the Wachowskis, and I hate to be that guy, but I was like, I don't know whether they call them the Wachowski brothers at the time, which is now the Wachowski sisters.
right?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Which is way how that goes. But
Yeah,
you know,
time
when you
they
watched
were.
it is that weird kind of. It's an action movie, but it's a very smart action
It's
movie.
an intellectual action movie.
It really was.
And the first one was what I think of again as a perfect movie.
Yeah.
And then they built craziness out of it in the
Which-
next two.
no, that was great.
Reloaded.
because,
But
you
it was
know,
great. I mean,
Oh,
they
God,
built a
yeah.
world.
It's filmed
you
in
know?
South Africa. If you didn't know, by the way,
Did not know
it's
that.
done
Yeah.
all in South Africa because all the guns are South African. That's how I found out.
I learned something today. I didn't know that.
But yeah, it's all done in South Africa, and you know, you got all these wonderful scenes. You know, you got the whole idea of
Yep.
what kicked off that wonderful joke that will be continued on from here on out. From that point is bullet time.
Yes.
Slow down.
I
The
love
movement.
the
You got
concept
you got
of
great stuff.
you got Neo dodging the bullets.
Yep. And the DVD, they actually show you how they did it.
Yeah,
they
it's
got
like
all these
cameras
high-speed
all around.
cameras.
Yeah,
like,
cameras
it's
all
really
around.
cool.
to me, when I found that, I was like, holy shit. And then everyone started.
No, that was new technology at the time because
Oh, yeah.
you would not think to take that many cameras and just put them on this big ass rig.
And just-
That's when computers were really making their way into movies.
Yeah.
Another Keanu Reeves vehicle, John Wick.
Oh,
John Wick,
I love
which
it.
is probably going to be the action movie of the current age. Everybody,
Definitely.
when they look at action movies, when it was my time, it was Terminator 2,
Terminator. And then
Starship
later on.
Troopers, and then Lethal
Matrix.
Weapon.
And then
Then you got into 2000, you got The Matrix, which is
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves. And
I
then
love
you
Keanu
get
Reeves.
Bad Boys, and that was it.
Oh,
and
Bad
nowadays it's John Wick, because you started getting into the more kind of, I guess, realistic action movie.
Oh, you were so happy when they started getting real with
We started getting a little bit realistic on the idea of how they run this. Now, it's kind of weird because realism is, in a weird way, of how playing in the fact that he's not being military in it. He's
Yep.
3-gun running everything.
Yeah.
So Keanu Reeves, first of all, is a great actor in the fact that he's kept up with his kung fu from The Matrix.
Yeah.
When he comes to anything that has to do with guns, he goes and gets training.
Right.
He
That's
did.
why he can cycle a gun like no one's business. There's not many actors out there that you can see that can run a gun like that. You got Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the 90s who learned all his military stuff, so
Oh,
he
yeah.
can run guns. And you got Keanu Reeves currently who's did all his 3-gun training, so you could. I've never seen a man draw that quickly.
Yeah, I mean, he did so much training for the John Wick movies. Just
Bradley
to get the-
Cooper back in A-Team remake
Oh.
was able to cycle an M4 faster than anybody I've ever seen actor-wise.
I forgot Bradley
except
Cooper was an
for
action hero
Val
for a bit.
Kilmer in Heat, which they still
I
talk
just
about.
watched that recently.
That's
love
another good
that
Like
movie.
really recently, like maybe a month ago.
Mr. William
Which is
Victor was pretty good.
the wonderful in joke is that special forces guys, when they're doing their military training, they get to the firearms section.
Yep.
They watch that scene where he's firing down the street, turns and fires down the street, and comes back, fires, drops, reloads, pops back up, and comes up. They say it's like when you're working, when you're operating, if you have to fire and move, this is how we want you to do it. You're firing one way, firing the other way, dropping, reloading, communicating, moving.
Yeah, yep.
Really cool. So
Very
I'm gonna
tactical,
my
nice.
last bring 'em up. I'm gonna bring this up, and this is loosely connected to the Matrix. I just mentioned that
Yep.
Monica Bellucci, who played the oldest Bond chick
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
one point, and if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, I'm sorry. She played Persephone in the Matrix.
She
and
did,
She
yeah.
also played like a milkmaid or something, and
And-
Shoot 'em Up.
yeah,
the Clive
well-
Owen movie.
Well,
I
she
which
like
is
that
really
movie.
good.
She played a lactating prostitute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I don't know what to call them. I just called her a milkmaid, so that's what I'm going
That's a good
with.
way. Baby with his sock on his head
Yeah.
to keep him warm.
Which I always like
Yeah,
to
I
shoot
remember
him up
that.
is just one long masturbation joke.
Yeah.
It really was.
I like Shoot 'em Up a lot.
It
I
was
love
pretty
eating a
good.
carrot the whole time.
No, when you get to the idea of
It's
an
like
action
crunchy.
movie that's self-aware, you have Last Action Hero and then Shoot 'em Up.
Yeah,
Because it's a movie that's just like, it's an action movie.
It knows. It knows it's an action
yeah,
movie.
totally.
Hell, Clive Owen was almost James Bond, so he makes a joke about the PPK and shoot him up.
Oh yeah, he did. That's right.
So that's my tour. You boys can continue
Yeah.
on. I'm going to go help this young man clean. Thank you so much for listening,
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
Hey man, we're always here.
And, thanks
We
for
do
having
appreciate
me.
you coming
Most
by,
definitely.
man.
Thanks again, Captain Mike.
Y'all, have fun.
Always, man. Always. We're always here. Like 7-Eleven. We're always open.
May not always be busy, but we're always open.
That was another action movie I wanted to get into. Was
Boondock Saints?
exactly.
Boondock. Well, see, I love the idea because that brings us to the whole idea of the action movies of the every guy.
Like, would you call it surrealistic, or would you just?
Well, in the first Boondock Saints, it's more of the every guy, and then
Yeah.
the second Boondock Saints, oh yeah, now we get a little surreal.
That one does.
It gets a
Yeah.
little, and for Pete's sake, they jump off of the window washer thing and come down in and just come sliding across the table, just letting loose with their destiny.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
But then you have Boondock Saints, which I always jokingly say, it's what happens if me and you became
Hitman's. Yeah. Like, it's like every day.
Well,
like-
really, the original joke was me and Cody.
Yeah.
Because me and Cody were always getting a big giggle out of Boondocks.
yeah.
And then we went to go see Boondock Saints 2 out of randomness.
Yeah.
And we were just like, this is really us. Because we just like, it's like, we can do this. I know it's like, I know what I'm doing. Don't worry about it.
Like-
no, we have no idea what we're doing. But it works out in the
It
end.
did. Yeah. Like, with the whole like with they're in like the whole once again the whole gun closet like beforehand. It was like, what do you need?
Which
And they
sort
get
of
the
devolved to
fucking
the
rope.
fact that it's like, if you want to see a Boondock Saints with me and the other guys, it's like, I'm the gun dealer and it's you and Cody that are playing the hitman.
Exactly, because like I can literally see me and him arguing in an air van about stupid fucking rope and climbing down. Like, how are we gonna get back up? We can climb back up. It's not that hard as what you think it is.
We can start fighting in the air vent.
And the next thing you know, yeah, we fight, and then the whole thing just falls. Like, fuck it, let's just make the best of it and just start unloading. I mean, you gotta make the best of it at this point. You gotta improvise, and that's another. That's what I like about that one because, like you said, everyday guys, they just got thrown into the mix. Like they
Yeah.
found a small, not a briefcase, nothing big fancy, nothing, a small messenger bag of money. They just happened to come across money. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, these are bad people. We should probably kill them because we think they're bad.
Well, it's not they think they're bad. It's a mission from God kind of thing.
Exactly, yeah. And but by other people's standards, they do think, and the end credits. I love the end credits because they interview the people. Like, what do you think about these guys? I think they're great. I think they're bad. I don't know, man. You got the guy makes references. You got these guys think they're superheroes. You got Batman, Superman, and then boom, you got these guys right here on the wall, the kids.
Exactly.
The superheroes, like, they're not superheroes. Like, who are they to be judge and jury? Like, well, that's how it's going to be in the real world if you decide to do that. Which, to me, I'm not going to say I can relate to that, but that's how it's going to be in the real world. I would honestly go with this.
What do you think? You don't know me. Does this make me look gay? I look like you stay one up close.
Maybe. But that's
No,
why I like that
but
movie.
Boondocks has that wonderful idea of the everyman who becomes the badass.
Yeah. They
Another movie
vigilante.
that did that was, of course, let's go a little bit back in time. Let's go to the man, Charles Bronson.
Charlie Bronson. Yeah.
Who your dad kind of looks like, which makes me laugh. As he told me that, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I see it. I bet your dad was like, oh no, your dad looks like Andy.
Okay, so side note, if get a picture of Andy Griffith from if you don't know who he is, just Google Andy Griffith and get Charlie Bronson. Just kind of mess around a little
Mesh
bit,
it together.
mesh it together, mess around a bit, and you get my dad.
You get your dad.
And here's the thing: every time I tell my dad this, he gets tired of hearing. He's like, "Would you stop saying that?" She's like, "Stop it! Shut up! Whatever." He doesn't care. He doesn't like it. I think it's funny because he's got Charlie Bronson has the stout face, the stash, but then he also has Andy Griffith's kind of like serious, but firm but caring look in his eyes. Like it's just one of those things. I'm derailing, but Google it if you get a chance. Mess around. If you ever want to send pictures, we'll get an email ready. Just get that drafts, kids. Get that comments ready.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Get those ready and send me these pictures because I will. If I think it's pretty close, I will tell you. That's gonna be in the comments. We'll get the email set up eventually. I swear we'll get this soon up and running. So don't forget to have those pictures ready. But yeah, another good one. Yeah, like I said, Charlie Bronson.
So Death Wish.
Death Wish. Like they had 3 Death Wish movies, right?
Like 4 or
Is it
something
4?
like that. Yeah, there's quite a few of that. But no,
Yeah.
it says you have the whole idea of he was the everyman.
Yeah.
Something happens to his family, unfortunately. And by the way, a very young Jeff Goldblum appears in one of the Death Wish. The first
did.
one.
That's right. I honestly forgot.
He plays one of the street punks and, messes with his family
Yep.
and screws up everything, and he goes on his revenge mission.
Yeah.
And then another good one on that there was Death Sentence with Kevin Bacon.
Oh my God! I completely forgot about Kevin Bacon as an action hero.
Well, he also plays a good action hero in Tremors as well.
Oh, Tremors!
I love Tremors. One of my favorite movies. To this day, I would say
So many Tremors.
Burt Gummer is my spirit animal.
I feel like in another world you would be Burt Gummer.
Doing what I can with what I got. Always ready.
Just remember.
And Reba McEntire played his wife in the first one.
She did. She was a very beautiful lady, and I think she's still kind of.
She looked good in that movie, and it's weird because like when you see it like in Reba, her TV show, she's younger.
Yeah.
Still very
pretty.
pretty.
And Reba.
Great country singer, by the way.
Very good country singer. Woman. And she was a little rascal. I was
yeah.
I guess she was a little rascal. I think was she like a professional racer? And
Something like that, yeah.
She gave, what's his name? That's coming to me. One of the little rascals.
It's gonna hit you later.
It will be. She gave him a little kick back on the cheek. Oh no. And but yeah, she had like the big ass hair, you know.
Yep.
But Reba McEntire. Whew,
Oh yeah.
Whoa, be still my beating heart. But yeah. Anyway, side note.
You know, there's several ideas when it comes down to action movies. You got the straight up action movie where it's the ex-military guy who goes against the big crew.
Yeah.
You got the everyman who goes against whoever wronged him.
Yeah.
And then you got the cop movie. So
Yeah.
you got buddy cop movies with like Lethal Weapon in 48 Hours.
Yeah.
And you got straight up cop movies like Training Day and End of Watch, which one of my favorite cop movies is End of Watch. Very realistic movie, by the way.
I'm about to say that was.
Which is very disturbing how realistic that movie is. I have several cops in my family, and I've talked to several cops who all tell me the same thing. It's like, that movie, about as realistic as it gets.
Yeah, it's like, so if you're on like a movie that kind of compares like Servers to Waiting, it's the same thing with Cops to End of Watch. That's literally almost like, I'm not gonna say to the teeth, but if you want to, like,
That was very much to the T.
Yeah.
Just like how, like when you watch Waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Waiting is pretty much what it's like to be a waiter.
Yeah, I will attest that. I was a server in my first job.
All the stupid people, all the weird people.
You got the
crazy
stupid
shit you
orders,
run
the
into.
shitty people, the customers, everyone. I will tell you to the teeth. That is pretty much pretty accurate, except for the dick game.
Be nice to your waiters.
Please. You know, I'm not asking you to tip.
They don't make much.
Look, I'm not gonna
And
ask
they
you.
deal with your crap for like $3 an hour.
Exactly. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, I'm not asking you to tip them $100, but tip them well. They do good. They work hard. They try to make a living. Trust me. That was my first job. I cannot stress this enough. That's why anytime I go somewhere, I always tip them well because I know where they've been. And same thing with End of Watch. I'm not a cop, but when I watch this movie, when I've seen it, you told me before, this is how big cops go through.
Yeah, it's literally how it is.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna say, this is whatever. They cops are just movies. Nah, man, nah. I know what it's like to be in some situations. So this one, I will give it that one.
And now,
But it's just one of those things.
Since it's me and you, let's kind of move into the newer age.
Yeah, we can.
Since we have since Captain Mike, the other statesman, is gone, let's get to the newer age on that there. So, one of my favorite action movies, you came over to my house to watch it. Me and my buddy Jared watched it in theaters. Hardcore Henry.
I wish I was, man, I had to work that day. I wish I had gone to the theaters to watch it with you both.
That movie was a great option when it came down to a action movie of current time.
Oh my god!
It's a first-person movie. You see everything out of the eyes of the guy that's kind of the good guy.
It started as a YouTube video, didn't it?
It started off as a music video.
It was a music video.
And then it became an idea of a movie.
But
And Charlotte Copley
yeah, I remember. Yeah, you told me about
was into the idea, so he helped film this thing for Hardcore, which was the original name.
Yep.
And they were like, we should make this the movie. So they started off
Let's
everything.
get some funding.
It had a funding thing on that. That thing was like either an Indiegogo or a GoFundMe.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
And then it kicks off, and finally they were able to get the funding, and it became Hardcore, or in the States, Hardcore Henry.
Yep.
And the whole thing's filmed on a GoPro, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
The whole thing's filmed on a GoPro, connected up to the actor's head, and there's a couple of people who play Henry and in the acting sense, but it's an interesting action movie. The fact that you see everything out of the eyes of the good guy.
Yeah.
Because usually you're sitting back in the camera view, you see, Arnold Schwarzenegger beating up people. You see Jason Statham, karateing the hell out of everybody.
Yeah, and you got Daniel Craig just punching bad guys, shooting guns,
Yeah, but then you're seeing everything from
his point of view. You see him pull out the gun, you see him do the kicks, the punches.
A hilariously great option, man. I tell you what, it was one of those movies just like, when I first saw it, I was like, this is great. I watched it kind of drunk. And I was
about to say, like,
holy
either-
shit, this movie's so fuck kinds of crazy.
I would say, as a disclaimer, I would say watch that movie sober or,
If you have motion sickness, do not watch it because
Yes.
this movie will make you very motion
Yes,
sick.
that is a big one. Motion sickness, any form of like vertigo or whatever, do not watch it because you will get thrown into a loop.
Oh yeah.
Because try and watch this, shit faced drunk. Oh, you're gonna have a bad time. Trust me, you're gonna want to step away from a bit because it's gonna really throw you off.
It throws you. Oh yeah. And,
Especially watching on the. I can't imagine on the big screen being really drunk and watching.
We were on like row number 5, so we were kind of like eye level with everything. Like,
I'm about to say, it's like I'm pretty sure you were just like, this is what it looks like.
I tried to get a little bit closer. I like usually like sitting
Yeah.
like can't get very thrown into it.
Because in that theater, it wasn't really that. I mean, it sounds bad, but it wasn't that much tickets sold for that theater, was it?
No, when we were gonna see it was kind of empty, but it was just like.
But it wasn't that
not being
obscure
people were
movie,
ideally ideal, but I kind of already knew. Like I said, I knew about it.
Yeah, you
So I was
knew
like,
about it, but
and I told my buddy Jared, and I was like, we were like, oh yeah, we're gonna go see this.
because it was a pretty obscure idea at the time, so no one really they didn't really put it in the TV.
Well, it took them
commercials.
like 2 or 3 years to get the funding.
Right.
And then they finally got it up and running. It takes a little while to make a movie, by the way, if you didn't know.
Yeah, and plus like for like ads, that sort of thing, promotional. That's even more budget than they didn't really have. So it's like whatever they did was like kind of word of mouth, really. Which to me, I thought it was a pretty good job.
Yeah.
But watching that movie was like, holy shit! I'm glad I wasn't drunk when I saw that movie because if I'd seen it in theaters, really drunk, oh man, I'd be like, okay, let me just close my eyes for a bit. But that was another good one. Hardcore
That
Henry
was a
pretty
great
good.
one, man. I tell you, it's one of those movies that has a really good hook on there. Yeah. And then you get into like other action movie options, like where there's a little bit of mystery to it, like Den of Thieves.
Yeah.
Because you have the old idea of you're following the cop who's trying to catch these high risk burglars.
Yep.
And he's trying to keep up with everything. The high risk burglars are all professional criminals.
Yeah.
As in when they steal a car, when they steal the armored car, they're taking the money out and they're tossing it in the water, and they're letting the ink go off without damaging the bills.
Exactly.
So they know everything that can happen. They know about the ink dye blast. They know about everything that's going on there, and they know about what they need to do. And then you get to the final major shootout portion of it. There are kind of spoilers into it, but that movie's probably like 10 years older now.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was like they were mercenaries / like military grade.
Well, the guys were ex-military. Like like the main character was. I think in the movie's an ex-Marine.
Yeah.
So he has major military training from that.
Right.
And the whole ending scene is where they're doing the huge shootout, which is the one that really breaks everybody into the whole idea of it.
Yeah.
Because you got the main guy who gets out, he puts the big old light machine gun on there, he tells everybody to get out the car. He opens up, and these bullets are tearing through the SUV, they're tearing through all the cars, all the cops that are trying to chase them.
Right, there's like
and there's just this big shootout.
Oh yeah.
And it's pretty great on that there. If you want a current movie that's just great on a bank robbing, Den of Thieves. But if you want the original good bank robbing movie, Heat.
He was such a good movie.
Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, you got
Val Kilmer.
Oh,
such a good movie. See, to me that was actually one of the better roles.
Ashley Judd is in that movie. She plays the boy. She plays the girlfriend to Val Kilmer.
She did.
Beautiful woman on there.
Very beautiful.
And she plays that wonderful. She plays really wonderful for that scene. But the whole idea of
a little side note for me, like my other favorite movie she was in was like an action thriller. Was Double Jeopardy.
Oh yeah. We watched Double Jeopardy.
It's like one of my top favorite action thriller movies.
Tommy Lee Jones is a great actor. The man is not formally an actor trained.
Really?
No, he's not formally acting trained.
But
he plays Cantanker's old man very well.
He does. I mean,
like Man in the House, where he's looking at cheerleaders. Great movie.
I mean, look at U.S. Marshals too.
U.S. Marshals,
which I didn't realize U.S. Marshals and Double Jeopardy were
connected in a way. Yeah,
because he plays the same. He plays the same character. Same character for both. Which we have Man in the House. It's just funny seeing like a Canadian. He's just like cheerleaders, young. Like I don't want to be here, but they assigned me to this, and I don't want it.
Gotta watch after these people. I tell you what.
Pretty much. But yeah, like that was one of the good ones. That was actually one of the good ones. That's what I like about some of those movies. It was just cheesy, But with Heat, it was just my god. To me, it was like one of my personal favorites. It's in my top 5 action movie. As far as that goes.
He did good playing the cop in No Country for Old Men.
He did. He really did.
He did. But top 5 when it comes down to action movies for anything with cops, it'd probably be Heat.
Oh, definitely.
Because Michael Mann can make an action movie in the fact that he's a gun nut himself.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, when he made Collateral,
Such a good movie.
He did the ever famous scene where Tom Cruise has to shoot those two guys in the alley.
Yeah, they want his briefcase, right?
Yeah, because they took his briefcase. Like, hey, homie, you took my briefcase. Oh yeah, what else you got for me? He walks up on him on the gun. Tom Cruise pushes the gun out, puts 2 rounds in the guy, turns, puts 2 rounds in the second guy, and pops him in the head on the way down. And then comes over. He does that in 1.3 seconds, like 1.3 seconds. We're talking an actor who has no formal military training, who went and got trained by LAPD SWAT to be able to cycle a gun like he does. So Tom Cruise is one of those actors who goes and works out of his way to get into his role.
He wants to make sure he gets it right.
And he gets it right. And the script asked for him to shoot rather quickly. He asked him for like a 1.7.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise did it in like 1.3. Woo! So Michael Mann was like, aces. Great.
Perfect.
That's amazing.
Run it. Add it to the print.
Quick draw. I mean, the man goes from hands up to
Boom.
Pushing the gun, pulling his suit, grabbing his gun,
That draw.
putting 2 into the first one, coming to the second guy, putting 2 into him, head down, grabs the suitcase, pops the guy on the way out. Game.
Almost like he didn't even look at the guy when he popped him in the head.
Like, he had grabbed it, he was walking away, as soon as Vincent kind of moved away, he just goes, grabs it, he just, boom! And then holsters.
Yeah. Like
It's like, it's amazing. You can't get that much better on that there. And then you get to Keanu Reeves, another man who gets into his role.
I remember
John
watching-
Wick, he goes and does his training, and
Just
you see
watching
that
the
man
training videos.
running in the first movie, running an H&K P30L like no one's business.
Ooh.
He's grabbing people, he's bodying the shit out of them, just pop, 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 pop. And I love the part in the club scene where he goes to fire and he's empty. So he jabs him in the throat, rocks his old bag out, puts a new one, and rocks it since the other guy's trying to recoil still.
As he's like
And
trying
he's
to
able to
recover.
reload, he goes, boom.
He's recovering. Next thing you know, he's like, and he just pops him. But then with the water scene, when they fell into the fountain or the pool, whatever it was, that was another good one.
I remember when we went to go watch John Wick 2.
Oh my god!
So,
Dude,
and I had already known, and I was like, "There's a scene that's gonna make you very tired," and it's the whole fight scene between him and Common,
I
and they're
love
just
that.
throwing each other downstairs.
That's a long fight.
It's
That's
a
not like
very
simple-
long fight scene.
It's not like 5, 6, 7.
I
It
am
is
both-
like from up.
I am both tired and sore.
I'm like just seeing that. I'm like, yo, man, just give me a minute, man. Give me a minute to recover from this. It's like falling down those stairs. Oh my god, it was like going down. How many steps? It was more.
Multiple steps.
It was in the double digits, like 20, 30 steps.
And then they still fight, and then they get thrown into the hotel, which they can't no longer fight in.
Exactly, which I'm like, common courtesy, they buy each other drinks, which I'm not gonna lie, I did get a little irked because they didn't really finish the drinks. That's just me being me because I want to.
Waste of alcohol. Alcohol is expensive, so.
It really is. But, common courtesy, they pay for each other's drinks and then they walk out. It's like, well, I'll see you tomorrow kind of thing. But, man, I did like it when he put on his cell phone, it's all cracked and busted.
Because he just got thrown downstairs. So, his phone's going to get fucked.
Because, other movies, like, oh, let me make a call. Hey, Winston, I need some help. Or Jackson.
You know another movie they do that in is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
As the movie goes on, his phone gets more beat up.
Yeah, he does.
He's got it in his suit the entire time.
Because, he's swinging around, hitting walls, getting punched. And so, yeah, of course.
No, but that brings me to the whole idea of action movies that aim for action.
Yeah.
So John Wick aims for it because they know that it's going to be just a gunplay, just a gun fest of awesomeness.
Like they say in the trailers, a non-stop thrill ride. It's literally
It really is.
like just 0 to 100.
It was done by the guy who played Keanu Reeves' stunt double in The Matrix.
Oh, that's
made
right.
John Wick.
That's right. You did tell me that. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, it's Chad Stahelski. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, but it's the stunt double for Keanu Reeves in The Matrix.
And he's
And
making
he
John Wick.
made John Wick.
And so he knows how to make an action movie at this point. That's what I like about that. And the really I like about the John Wick was.
Yeah, I saw the first one. You saw the first one. Then we saw the second one together at the drive-in.
And then we saw the
third one we watched on the cruise.
We were partially inebriated. We were partially we had a couple of drinks. But
partially inebriated. I had to justify a drink pass. I was very inebriated.
Well, side note, we were on a cruise. We bought drink pass, not cheap.
And we were laughing because we're like, we're gonna miss John Wick 3. But no, lo and behold,
we made it on time.
They played the John Wick release on the boat.
because like
our
all
boat
of a
had
sudden
a
come
theater
out.
in it.
I was
So
so
we're like, hell yeah, let's go see it.
I even called you guys. Hey guys, guess what? They had John Wick. Yeah, we know. We bought tickets. What? Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, our buddy Joey had bought tickets. We all went and watched it, and we all were just like enjoying it the hell out of it.
I just loved it because it just picked up right where it left off in the first, in the second one.
tired.
You know, it was just-
Oh god, tired.
like we had the running joke. Is, yeah, it's like an hour after the second one just ended. Like he's just trying to get home. Yeah, we see him running him like just he largely at Central Park. But he's already halfway to his house. Yeah, he must be tired. He's just running. My man just wanted to go to bed. He just wanted to go to sleep. Give my man a bed to sleep in, for Christ's sake. Give him something to work with.
Give me a day.
Something. Give him at least. Give
I'm
him
gonna
an hour.
sleep 18 hours.
Give him an hour. At least give him an hour to take a nap. 1 hour nap. Just that's all we needed from Mr. Wick.
That movie was really.
But John Wick, yeah, that was non-stop, just 0 to 100. Gunplay, kung fu, like almost kung fu-ish a little bit too.
He's bodying the shit out of people. He is just judo throwing and just throwing people
Oh,
around. If your ass is not tired from just being thrown to the ground and using your own body weight against you,
Or,
and then he's throwing rounds into your ass after that. It's
Or
like,
was it remember the antique shop? All those old,
Well, I love
antique blades.
that brings us back to the original thing because that's a reference to the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
And
So many
He's
nice
putting the pistol together because Tuco, who plays the ugly, or the actor that plays him, he was building the pistol. He sits there, he does the little click check, and he just uses the fan on one round. That's it. That gun's done.
Yeah.
So he's just putting everything together. He does the Frankenstein gun.
just
That guy
looking.
comes in, he just puts a 44-40 in that guy, and that's it. The gun's done.
Yeah. But then he gets all those antique knives and blades, just chucking to the ground. Like
And just fighting him off, and just
he put so many knives into that one guy. It was like, and he still kept going. Like, yo, how are you still alive? I don't even know what's going on.
I was like, oh man, I'm tired of watching this
Like,
movie.
just seeing him throw all those knives. They weren't even knives. They were like knives, blades, so like big stuff. It was just like
He
very.
hits that dude with the axe at the end. Just still gets me.
It was just so much to throw at once. Like, how are you still going? Not only are you throwing them, but at the same time, how do you still have the stamina? How are you still alive? You just got like Swiss cheese with all these
Oh yeah.
blades.
Or like in John Wick, too, where he does the shootout in the catacombs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he bumps into Common after he kills what's her name, and
Well,
he beats him on the draw. By the way, Common actually hits Keanu before he draws his pistol on that one,
really
and that's why he gets the deck and he starts rolling off, and they go into the catacomb is chasing him.
right.
And that's where he gets the whole. He grabs his rifle, he's doing the shoot, and
Yep.
then he gets to a certain point, he switches from his rifle, he goes to that shotgun.
Yeah. Oh,
And he's
that's right.
putting, double on everybody's asses. He pins that guy to the wall, fast loads off the one round, and drops a shell into his ass.
Ugh. What a way to go. Oh man, he did. That was so much to work with.
But it's realistic movies like that always get me because
That
there's
was
some
a good
trade.
one.
He's
Yeah.
three gunning, sure, which in a perfect condition, three gunning is crazy, but
It worked.
you
Well, that's
get
for
it
John.
there,
It did.
and then you get to another good movie, kind of going to the cops and robbers theme, is Saints and Sinners, which
Yeah.
has Johnny Strong in it, who played one of the guys in Black Hawk Down who wins the Medal of Honor. He plays the M14 sniper.
Oh, that's right.
And
yeah.
he's also in Fast and Furious as one of the secondary backup guys
Yep.
to Dom's crew. Johnny
Remember
Strong.
that, yeah.
But in Saints and Sinners, he plays the New Orleans PD cop, so an NOPD cop. And that man can run a gun like crazy. He has military training beforehand, of course.
Yep.
But he's running, in fact, he's running Leon's gun from the Resident Evil 2 CGI movie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So he's running that Operator 45 with the full rail.
I remember you showed me a clip and I was like, oh, that's the. You pointed like that's Leon's gun. Like, oh my god, I didn't know. I didn't
He's
think
using
it
the
was
real version of it.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't think it was real at first. Until you
Probably 10
pointed it out.
round 45 knives. But yeah, no,
Yeah, that was such a nice.
Saints and Sinners, great movie on
I
the
love
fact
that
that
gun.
how they're playing it. Because they have a whole shootout that's very realistic in the
Yeah.
fact that, he's popping guys. He's trying to reload and some guy's trying to come up. As soon as he comes around, he's barely got really good. Pops it, boom.
Barry clicks in the chamber.
Pops the guy. And then he gets up, pistol drawn, grabs his rifle, keeping his pistol drawn, brings his rifle up, holsters, and gets the rifle up.
Yeah, he's got.
And then he pops that Australian dude that looks like Robert Downey Jr. in the head.
Oh, what was it? Yeah.
I forget the actor, but
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
boom, pops him.
Like,
Great movie, though.
Is
Great
that
movie.
Robert? No, it's not Robert Downey.
It's not Robert.
It's not, but it looks
He
like
looks
him.
like him with blonde hair and he's Australian.
It was kind of awkward. I'm like,
Very weird. Very
I've
weird.
seen Robert with blonde hair. I'm like, what the fuck? It really threw me off the first time. I was like, no. But yeah, that's another good one. Saints and Sinners is pretty good. Honestly, a good. I would say action movies. It's a. I would put in a good watch list. Top 10 watch. Definitely check it out when you get a chance.
Well, let's kind of begin to the wrap-up portion, which is the last form of the action movie, which is the war movie.
Ooh.
And me, I love war movies. I could watch Saving Private Ryan any day of the week.
That's a good classic.
It's
in my
historical. It's got great action scenes. And it's based on a little bit of truth. It's actually based on an old Civil War story of a group of brothers who went to the Civil War,
Right.
and only one of them was able to come back because they actually brought him back out.
Right.
And that was a great one because you got to see the storming of the Normandy beaches, the D-Day storming.
Yeah. Oh,
which
definitely.
is just terrifying in its own right.
It's once you really look into it, it's not.
That was just one of the beach landings.
Yeah.
And that was getting off a boat, jumping in the water, and hoping you could make it across at least 100 yards of sand.
Yeah.
And then you're still not done. There's still war to be fought.
You're still going, man. That's the least of your worries. Is that water? and
Tom
sand.
Hanks does great in that movie. And you got
I loved him in that movie.
Oh yeah,
He
you
did
got
such a
Tom
good job.
Sizemore, who's another great actor when it comes
Yep.
to war movies, because he plays another. Continuing on with war movies, he plays Sergeant Horvath in Black Hawk Down,
That's right.
which
yeah.
he's the lead sergeant on the Humvee column that has to go in to get everybody out after the two Black Hawk helicopters are shot down.
Right. Because also
Which connects with Saints and Sinners because Johnny Strong again plays the sniper of Special Forces who drops on Super 6-2. They have the whole shootout, and unfortunately he dies in that one.
Right.
And you got Eric Bana.
Eric Bana and also Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel is in Saving Private Ryan. He plays
Saving Private Ryan. Okay,
he plays Caparzo. He plays the soldier that's shot in the beginning by the sniper.
Yep. Running joke. I guess family couldn't save him that time. Wasn't strong. I'm sorry. Not sorry for making
That's
that
okay.
joke.
Paul Giamatti was able to lead him because Paul Giamatti plays the other soldier
Yeah.
that helps him find the wrong Ryan, who's played by Nathan Fillion.
It was just, man, it was one thing after another in saving.
It was great though.
But Band of Brothers, that was another good one though.
Band of Brothers is a great one because it brings the whole idea of what it's like to be at war with a group of soldiers that you eventually get to the point where you're just like, you become brothers.
Yeah.
You have seen so much shit, you've fought through so much that you might as well be brothers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You've been through a lot together, so you become family of a sort.
So I think my favorite war movie would probably be.
Which has, what's his name from Friends, plays one of the lieutenants, and it's just out of character thing for me. The one that plays the giraffe in
David Schwimmer.
yeah, David Schwimmer plays
That was
the lieutenant.
really weird seeing
Very weird.
I could not see Dave Schwimmer as, whatever. I don't care. I do care, but not as much. But another good war movie, one of my personal favorites, was Three Kings.
Three Kings, great one. Let me circle back. We'll get Three Kings. In
Yep.
Black Hawk Down, you have the man who goes to play Bane.
Wait, which Bane? Tom Hardy?
Tom Hardy.
Oh,
Is
okay.
in Black Hawk Down. He plays Twombly,
That's right. I forgot he
who
was in
loses
it.
his hearing because the other light machine gunner unloads the M60 next to his ear, and he just or he unloads his M249, and Nelson, who plays the M60 gunner, loses his ear because Tom Hardy just lets loose on a bunch of guys with it.
Yeah, I forgot. That's how you get tinnitus.
Oh, it's hella tinnitus, which I think I may have a little bit of because I fired a shotgun without ear protection.
Every now and then.
You'll notice because Roger will talk to me. I'm just like,
Yeah, you just kind of sit there kind
and he'll
of.
say, "What?"
Yeah, when he says the what, I always think he's being kind of sarcastic, but no, that's really him. Actually, I kind of have to like, Nate, did you catch that?
I can't hear you over the ringing. What?
I always think he's joking.
Hey, be
but
happy. Every time I've taken you to the range, you wear ear protection.
I try to at least.
You want to try to not wear ear protection?
I'm okay.
Or you can just
Yeah, I don't need to go. I don't need a tone from the hearing test from elementary school, right? It's not that fun. But yeah,
But yeah, Three Kings, great movie because you have Mark Wahlberg,
George
Ice
Clooney.
Cube, George Clooney, Spike Jones.
Yeah, Spike Jones. Oh,
The man who goes and makes the
C4 footballs. C4 footballs, bullion jokes that he didn't know were bullion.
J.B. Kennedy's in that movie too.
Yeah,
He plays Bolo.
Yeah, he plays Private Bolo. Who's
What's
supposed to take
Bolo?
He's supposed to take a news reporter away from where they're going.
Damn, step away from the channel.
So the plan is, you follow us, but you got lost and you're over here now. That's what's gonna happen. That's what happens.
Yeah.
And you were in night vision in broad daylight at the tent guarding it.
Well, that kind of worked.
Yeah, you see the fucking thing, they don't work in there like, yeah, that kind of work. Freeze! Stop, motherfucker! It's like, and he just walks past, he just stops him, moves the goggles, like, whatever. It's like, made it, god damn it! And then, of course, he let George Clooney in, because now. But that was another good, to me, my personal favorite.
No, because that was based in reality. Because that was during Operation Desert Shield, Desert Storm.
Yeah.
Like
a good majority of it was, Hollywood being Hollywood, but a good majority.
Which is weird because all the actors that played all the
they played the real characters.
Yeah, like all the characters from like the Iranian, Egyptian side, pretty much all the opposing forces is played by actual people from that, which is weird.
It was
they had to relive a little bit of stuff, but they did it for the movie sake, which added to the realism.
Oh yeah, like I'm pretty sure they got compensated really well, but seeing like
actually,
finding
it's
out
a very weird story of how the director, after a lot of shit, George Clooney backed him up, was looking out for the actors because George Clooney's a pretty decent guy.
Yeah, I mean he's pretty cool. I mean I like George Clooney, just not in Batman, Batman Robin, but in that movie, he did a good job in my opinion.
Playing special forces, so yeah.
They're trying to do this.
Major Gates.
Him and
because he's plowing the
other news reporter.
The other news reporter.
That's the reason why I know their names because they're really going at it,
screaming his name.
And I just like that he was an escort for the other news reporter, but it's like where's he at?
Could you find her something so she could butt so I can get this?
That made it was a bit of a comedy just in the beginning because you see they're bickering.
What's funny in a lot of parts, but it's also got some realism in other parts. It's kind of it's a really interesting movie. If you ever get a chance, Three Kings,
I would say
great
definitely
movie.
check it out.
Give it a look. It has a bit of an interesting insight into the whole idea of the Operation Desert Storm, Desert Shield that we had back in the 90s. If you want another movie that also coincides with Jarhead with Jake Gyllenhaal,
that was another good one.
Gets to another idea from another portion, which is weird because Jarhead is the war movie without a shot being fired.
Yeah, that's kind of threw me off. I was like, that's kind of
weird. You see him go through basic.
Yeah.
He goes to war. He does not fire his rifle.
I was kind of waiting for some gunshots. I'm like,
kind of spoilers, but
yeah.
He doesn't fire his rifle to the end, and it's not even at a person.
Yeah.
Everybody's just celebrating because they're like, the war's over.
Yeah, he's kind of like, woo. He just fires and shot in.
And one of the buddies just takes his M6, just fires it off into the air.
Yeah.
You got Jamie Foxx playing the drill sergeant who also becomes the active sergeant on the ground.
Yep.
He's just letting loose with his M6 and he's smoking his cigar. I was like, I want to do that. I would love that. If you want to ever see me be in true happiness, smoking a stogie, letting loose with an M60 belt.
Just popping in the air. Just let's go ham, boys. But yeah, that was
after that, done.
Yep.
Happy. My life, I could die right there and I'd be happy.
There you go, man. You got something on the bucket list right there. But yeah, Jarhead and Three Kings. I would honestly put Three Kings.
Three Kings has this idea because it's literally when how soldiers kind of act around each other.
Yeah.
Because I know several veterans who are, when they're hanging out with everybody, they're like, "Oh no, we did a lot of stupid shit while we were waiting for shit to happen."
They're the tent party.
I've got family friends that have been to war.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh yeah, no, the majority of it's just waiting around doing all the fuck all."
Yeah, pretty much. You just kind of wait for orders.
Another good group of our friends on that, they're Brad and Lindsay.
Yeah.
Who all say the same thing.
Yeah.
It's all just waiting and not doing jack shit.
Like they're out,
Though Brad is like 8 feet tall, so
yeah. I mean,
can't do much, but
okay.
And you got wonderful military medic Lindsay, but luckily they're living a happy life now.
Yeah, they got good. They got a daughter. They're happy. They
just.
Big
girl. It's hilarious the fact of how all that plays out.
It really is.
Another good one, Generation Kill.
Oh,
I looked at it, and
that would be us if we were doing that.
If you ever get a chance to watch Generation Kill, if you ever catch me at a convention, and I'm doing my K cosplay, which I usually do.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You'll catch me quoting random war movies, and one of them is Generation Kill.
Oh God, yeah.
That one, you're like, oh, that's pretty ninja.
Yeah.
Because nobody says that anymore. Ninja used to be a huge hilarious
Yeah,
thing. But,
ninja was like a compliment. That's pretty badass, it's ninja. But then another one.
We just stormed and took over this airfield.
Yeah.
That's pretty ninja.
Or, they're on the convoy. This lady wrestling in a car on a daily basis in the car.
I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby.
Literally, that's us in the convoy, just singing Teenage
Just
Dirtbag.
listen to Iron Maiden,
Which is-
baby.
That's in my place, by the way. I listen to that song every now and then. Wait, that's literally us in the military.
Nice singing there, Private. Thank you, Sergeant.
It's literally. Generation Kill was another good one. That was actually one of my personal favorites.
I love Generation Kill. I always love to see where one of the guys is just prancing in a field.
That was
And the
awesome.
war reporter's watching it. He's like, "What's he doing?" He's like, "I don't know." I asked him what he wanted to be, and he just started dancing to the field. Oh my God, he wanted to be a ballerina? That's my fucking dream.
Like, that one actually got too. In some series, it got too real. Like,
I love
okay.
the fact that they also call the reporter just called Rolling Stones, because apparently when you're on the field, every reporter is just a Rolling Stones reporter.
It's a Rolling Stone magazine. What else are they going to report on? What else are you going to do for the most case? That actually made me laugh.
War movies. If you ever catch me on a day when I have no internet connection, I have a backup because I have like 400 DVDs.
Oh yeah,
And I have a
seen them.
dedicated DVD case of movies I can watch no matter what. Black Hawk Down. You usually cause me rewatching Black Hawk Down. I love that movie.
See, for you, Black Hawk Down. For me, it was going to be Three Kings. Like, if I don't.
Black Hawk Down, what has a special connection to me, it's kind of weird, is the fact that the whole operation happened 2 days after my birthday back in the 90s.
Okay, that's fair. I'll give you that one because that's pretty close.
And I almost got to meet Mike Duran, which is the helicopter pilot of one of the helicopters. I missed meeting him by like an hour at a convention because there was a gun show and a military convention going on, and he was at the military convention, and I could have met Mike Duran.
Damn, you got a picture with him and everything.
I could have got shook his hand,
shook his hand, get a picture, autograph.
Because that man, when his helicopter went down, he was captured by the African forces.
Woo.
And I just imagine getting a handshake with him. I mean, that's a real hero that lasts through all that there. I mean, he didn't have to go through too much crazy shit. It wasn't Vietnam, but I mean, you're captured by opposing forces. Can you imagine that?
At that point, it's
terrifying.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
If you look back at Vietnam, Vietnam was the whole thing. And then like Full Metal Jacket, another great action.
Full Metal Jacket is also a good one.
An hour of boot camp and an hour of being in Vietnam, and you get the whole idea of just like.
That one I kind of liked it because they did mix a little bit of comedy in there, just kind of get you to relax. But it did get pretty real though.
Is that you, John Wayne?
This is me, John Wayne.
Who said that?
Oh.
Who the fuck said that?
Oh, Sergeant Gunnery Hartman.
Which one of you sorry son of a bitches just signed your own death warrant? May you rest in peace.
Arlie Army. Sergeant Gunnery Hartman.
Sergeant Hartman.
I still love how he got that role too, because he was.
Yeah, because Stanley Kubrick was trying to tell him a line. He goes, "You stand up and speak to me clearly," and then stood up and was like, "Oh shit!"
They're trying to teach someone to do.
Because all he was supposed to be was just supposed to be the
like an advisor.
An advisor.
Yeah.
But then you have this whole tape of, and I would love to see it, of them tossing tennis balls at Arlie Army, and he's just drill sergeanting the shit out of you. He doesn't stop. He's being hit by tennis balls, and he's just going off on you. He had no real written lines. He had kind of an idea,
almost,
but everything else was him.
Like, here's your dialogue. Just run with it.
Here's what's supposed to be going on. We need you to add into that. That's just him, just pretty much being a drill sergeant to all these guys.
Because he was just seeing him do that. Oh, this is muscle memory, second nature to him. He didn't have to try.
The scene when he goes, when you first walk in, you have the scene of Arlie Army. He was like, "I'm your senior drill sergeant."
Yep.
And he's gonna whip you into shape. He's like, "Oh shit."
And he's just my favorite thing is he just gets into all the different slurs. I don't care what you are.
Technically, he can't be racist because he hates everybody evenly.
Exactly. He
doesn't care if you're black, white, brown, Italian, whatever. You are shit to him.
You are all equal pieces of shit.
You are equally terrible.
And
he is gonna mold you into one of Mother Green's fighting mean machines.
Exactly. To him, it doesn't matter what you are, you will be a fighting machine for America. And what did he do? He made him, he molded him, he trained him. Ooh. My God, just get whipped into shape by that man. Whew.
Yeah, if I ever had the luck to meet him when he was alive, I would put that on my resume.
I met Harley Irby.
He gave me a dressing down. He told me everything that was wrong that I fucked up.
And you just went to go see, get an autograph and a picture with him for like 10 minutes.
He told me my belt was wrong, my shirt was untucked, and that I was just out of order. I put that on my resume.
Here's the worst part.
Got a dressing down from Harley Irby himself.
See, if you think about it, the worst part, even if you met him and you try to be like proper about it, you tucking your shirt to get the belt ready to go, you're still wrong. He's gonna find something. He would find something, some minute detail that you missed, and he's like, you done fucked up.
But definitely, in the end, kind of pulling a wrap up on this there, action movies, like horror movies, if you remember our Halloween podcast, shaped a lot of our youth.
Oh, definitely. Because
it is the thing that you watch that you play pretend with your cousins.
Oh, definitely.
You stormed the island, you had the crazy shootout, you had fun.
Yep.
It was one of those things that was like, I could be a badass.
Yep.
When I grew up, I'm going to be big, I'm going to be bad, I'm not going to be stoppable.
You could be the man with no name, you could be, commando. But
that's what it was on that day. You could stop whatever it was, be it an alien invasion or just a bunch of bad guys from Colombia. That is the action movie.
See, well, here's
just like a horror movie could bring you to the point of, I am terrified, but maybe
you could walk out alive.
I can walk out alive because it shows you all the tropes.
Oh yeah.
In the end, the fact of the matter is, it is one of those things that shapes you as a person.
Definitely. But so here's the funny thing: we got years of Mike's top action movie. Y'all haven't gotten mine yet.
What's yours?
Well, see, for me, it kind of falls in sci-fi. So for me, my all-time favorite action always will be Jurassic Park.
The action thriller.
Exactly. The action thriller. Dinosaurs trying to escape a deadly island. Just, you never know what's going to happen next because...
Another great movie with Jeff Goldblum.
Exactly.
Sam Neill. And all them.
For me, honestly, it's that... Trying to escape is the fun part.
You had that great Attenborough in it, though.
Mr. David Attenborough.
David Attenborough.
He's trying to make a... He wants to make a wondrous thing for...
And he spared no expense.
He didn't. Exactly. But for me, like I said, that's one of those... Because I remember having that movie on VHS. I still remember the box art. It was just a black case, and you got the logo, Jurassic Park.
Kind of... Random trivia bit there.
Yep.
I have a Generation 1 Jurassic Park VHS that was pre-ordered.
Ooh.
Back when pre-orders started to become a thing.
Right.
I have one. So mine's an original print VHS Jurassic Park. Black sleeve, Jurassic Park logo on it.
Yep. So it's like,
That's
black
in my
sleeve
collection.
and then just like the red logo on the front. That's what we had.
That's what I got.
Wish I still kept it.
Got it still.
Yep. See, I wish I did.
Still
because
got mine.
Every now and then we go to family events or whatever. You just pop in the VHS.
The theme song still gets me to this day.
That is for me an unforgettable. Like the first couple of notes, like
Samuel L. Jackson appears in it.
Oh, Mr. Arnold.
Hold on to your butts.
I love that line. Hold on to your
reset.
butts. And just, but for me, it was just that more or less. You come in here with like high expectations. This is gonna be exciting. This is gonna be innovative. It's gonna be something new for the world.
I was a kid. Dinosaurs were already cool.
Exactly, and that's why.
And this movie just added like, holy shit.
And you got the T-Rex, like the king. Like to me, it was the king of dinosaurs. Like, roar, just comes in. But the Velociraptors, they were just
terrifying as fuck.
Exactly, and then you see them kind of like, and they weren't like crocodiles that would snap at you. They were like Mr. Muldoon said, the game warden, the game hunter. They're smart. They're learning, and they knew what they could catch you. Like Samuel said, you're looking at the one in the front, but you don't know the one's to the side. Exactly. And that's what I liked about them because for me when I was a kid, I loved dinosaurs like every other kid, but it put you on edge. It was just one of those. Could you make it out alive?
Oh no, that movie was terrifying for a lot of kids.
Oh god,
I watched that movie so many times in theaters when I was young, because back in the day, movies ate our movies for us before they closed down.
Before
it was supposed to be reopening, but
if they become movies 8 again, we need to start going again.
Gotta go see it. But that's why I watched Jurassic Park so many times. I was so young at the time that I got it free as a kid.
Yeah,
and my mom paid like a buck to get in.
Definitely.
And she was like, let's go see it again. Because it was like $1. $1 ain't shit for that.
That was
From
that.
then to now, $1 ain't shit.
Oh God, yeah.
Here's $1.
You know?
I'm gonna be entertained.
Oh, definitely. You know, because same thing. You know, I go to my aunt's house. You know, Christmases or events. You know, whatever. If we just go and just like, hey, we're gonna go to Sunday dinner at Aunt Sandra's or whoever's. And, they happen to have the VHS and
Right.
something for the kids. Hey, while we're making dinner or while mom and dad are talking to everybody, the kids are in the living room or they're in cousin's room. What are we doing? Watching Jurassic Park. Yeah,
Watch Jurassic Park.
And for me, that's like one of the biggest movies we grew up because my sister and I. That's one of our personal favorites. She's over here making me T-shirts of Jurassic Park. This and that. Life Finds a Way. Whatever. So for me, that's honestly one of my movies that
There you go.
I would like. Aside from Pulp Fiction, anywhere, anytime, Jurassic Park is my all-time. Anytime, anywhere. You have that shit anywhere. You have it on a DVD, VHS, phone. I don't care. You have it. Tell me. I will watch that shit. Like, the story of me watching Pulp Fiction 3 times. Back to back 3 times. No, man. You put Jurassic Park in front of me. It could be 2 days. I will still be there watching this movie front to back, nonstop.
Oh, yeah.
I can sit there and watch that movie anytime, anywhere. Doesn't matter. You got me hooked.
Well, like I said, it's an action movie, it's a film movie, and it's what molded ourselves like that.
Exactly.
It making you either think you're the badass special forces that can go through it, or the everyday guy who can just persevere.
Exactly.
But that's action movies in general.
Mm-hmm.
And in that is our Action Movies podcast. Next time we will be running our standard podcast. We're going to definitely do a couple of reviews.
Oh, definitely go back to
and
the
see how it goes,
reviews,
'cause
movies, games, and stuff
We've
like that.
seen our usual. We actually saw Jackass recently. We'll probably go into that next podcast.
We do have to review that next time.
Most definitely.
Oh,
and that's gonna be a
God.
lot of talking. We might be able to get a chance to watch the new Uncharted movie, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
And,
I need to
we'll
talk to you
kinda
about
go
that
from
soon,
there.
hopefully, and we'll get that going.
But either way, so this was the podcast. I'm Nate.
And I'm Roger.
And we want to again thank the Electric Starship Arcade with good old Captain Mike for allowing us to have it here. And we'll see you for the next podcast.
Y'all guys have a good night, and we'll see you next time, right?
And remember, get to the chopper!
We spared no expense.